Yes, sir. We got week 2 coming up here for the spring split. Of course, week 10 overall. My name is Up, my joined here by Quantum Deathcat. We have a big game coming up. It's between Niagara University facing off against RIT. We apologize for the little bit of delay, but Quantum, I think we still have the game coming up in just a little bit, so we can vibe out and talk about what has been not only the season thus far, but these two teams who are struggling a little bit to really get some solidification in terms of their placement in the bracket, specifically Niagara. But RIT, they're looking for a big win here to continue their streak.
Niagara, they had an opportunity last week to win a game. It was a tight contest, but they lost out sadly. And yeah, they're 1-6, as you say, a little bit of a struggle up against RIT, who I'd say they're not struggling as much, though they did lose last week. I'd say that they're still going on along strong. They're 6-2 for their season so far, 18-8 when it comes to the win-loss ratio, so they're doing pretty good in terms of that. I'd say they're still one of the front runners, I would say, for the league. They aren't exactly what you'd call a team that are always strong. Some nights are really tough for them. I mean, every game that they've lost, they've been swept, right? And only one game that they've won has gone to a game 5, and every other game was a sweep. So they're very streaky, RIT.
Streaky in a sense, but it looks like all the games that they've taken on has been fairly consistent. So if anything, I'm still very much anticipating a win here for the boys of RIT. But I think more importantly, let's talk about the, I guess you could say, the playoff implications for this game, because Niagara, they are very close to being mathematically eliminated from that entire series in general. Although, again, they never really had a chance going into the spring split. They could still start things off on the right foot. Last week was definitely a big opportunity for them, but didn't exactly go their way. But still, a win here against RIT would be massive for this team's momentum, and overall would be the upset of the spring split thus far. So if anything, we're very much anticipating RIT to come out to a strong start, but still excited to see what the boys of Niagara have done. They pulled off upsets in the past as an institution in general. I mean, especially in playoff series where we're just like, all right, this team is like seeded 8th. They barely made it into playoffs, and they somehow still make it to like grand finals or something. So I've ceased to doubt Niagara from my prior experience in EGF, but I think in this season thus far, their chances for playoffs, period, are starting to dwindle.
Yeah, sadly, I don't think they will make playoffs, and the teams that are around them, right, even the 3-5, 3-4 teams, they're really strong, like Canisius and Villanova Niagara. They've tried to go up against them, it just hasn't worked out for them either, so 1-6, it would be such an amazing thing, an amazing story if they were able to beat RIT, but I think for RIT, it's going to be the same story, sadly. I am thinking it's going to be a 3-0 here.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Most of the games for RIT have been pretty clean. 3-0, 3-1 at this point, because I still think that game 1 is going to be very much an indication on how the rest of the night is going to go down for this team. But even then, we could see micro adjustments. Maybe the team just goes all out aggressive and just tries to put everything that they have onto the field and just leave it there. But yeah, still looking around, you mentioned the other 3 and 5 teams. They still have Villanova around, and more importantly, University of Connecticut. They ended up getting themselves a little bit of an upset, or at least a chance to do so, against Butler. But I think overall, the Big East Conference is going to be something that we're going to be looking into a whole lot more going into the rest of the season. But when we talk about teams like RIT and Niagara, where yeah, they do have their own affiliations, especially with Niagara still in the MAC conference, still with a chance to play some playoff Rocket League, you still have RIT, who might actually struggle to get into that top 8 territory. If I'm not mistaken, it will be top 8 for the playoffs, or maybe even top 10, with 2 teams have to play in. So RIT is not safe by any means, especially because of the fact that they have DePaul and University of Colorado right below them. So it still very much is a detriment, but we still have a whole lot of weeks to go. Quantum Deathcat, going into tonight though, and tonight's schedule, is there any game that you're heavily anticipating in a sense, even though we might not be on the broadcast, might even be on the A stream? do you have any highlights for the night?
Well, EGF Rocket League at 9 p.m. It's not going to be with us, but there's going to be DePaul versus Marist. And Marist got pantsed last week. They got swept by the University of Colorado. They were mathematically the best team in the league up until that point.
Undefeated.
Not just undefeated. No, they were defeated, but they had the least amount of losses. They only had 4 losses in the first 8 weeks, and they get swept by the University of Colorado. And they're up here against DePaul, a even more solid team than Colorado was. Can they come back to where they were before? Because oh my goodness, that was embarrassing, right? We even covered it last week on we couldn't believe that it had happened. Sadly, it had happened on the official EGF server, so we weren't the one casting it, but I was freaked out. What? The University of Colorado just swept Marist. What's going on? I just talked super highly about them. And so that was that story.
That's bound to happen a couple of times. I mean, even then last week we still had a win for the boys of Niagara University. Same thing with the RIT, but those are, I mean, at least a win for RIT was a little bit easier. Niagara, I mean, it's good at least that they were able to start off on the right foot, but again, there's already been a couple of upsets here and there, and I think more importantly, we're looking at a battle for really top supremacy in some of the games already. I mean, when you come back for the spring split, you've been gone for almost a month and a half, essentially, and we had a game last week between UT Arlington and Seton Hall University. I mean, that game, if we do end up seeing the two teams tie up at the end of the season, that head-to-head is going to be super important. That was a win for UT Arlington 3-2, but even then, we still have what would be the teams that have still solidified themselves in terms of lesser games lost or something of the sort. I mean, I still have high hopes for Marist College, although they have finally lost their first set in general. That top 8 bracket is going to be so tough to get into because I don't see really any of the teams making it in losing below like 4 games. That's just going to be the magic number for a lot of these teams. So if anything going forward, we have to pay a lot of attention to teams like RIT, more fringe teams like Colorado, like Fairfield. So yeah, tonight's broadcast is going to be a fun one. I don't know when our game here between Niagara and RIT is going to be starting. I think any time now, but still, I wanted to ask you, Quantum Deathcap, because we haven't exactly commentated with each other, and honestly, I haven't exactly kept up with the league. Is there any team outside of that top 10 area that I still should be looking out for? You already mentioned a couple.
Yes, I would definitely look at Marquette, and I talked about this actually last week because I was the one commentating that game,
Yes,
Marquette
sir.
versus Fairfield, and I called that Marquette was gonna sweep, and everyone thought I was insane because they were a 3-4 team. Marquette is such a strong team. They've had such an unlucky schedule. They've been up against, I think, 4 or 5 top 5 teams, 4 or 5 top 10 teams, and they lost most of those games, you know, but they've won a
Yes,
few,
sir.
and they kept it close every single time. And this time up against Fairfield, another tough opponent, Marquette swept, and I called it. No one could really believe it at the time, but
Yeah,
that's a team you need to keep a look at.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are finally in the game. We've already gone through 30 seconds, a little bit of rambling, but it is what it is. You already have the boys of Niagara taking on a couple of attacks from the boys of RIT early on, but more or less even as nice little chance from Sepward. No way! Little bit of a deflection goes bottom left, and well, sometimes it's the simplest of plays to really get your team started. Huge mistake there from Fusion Turtles. He wasn't able to really bounce back, but just a minute in, we see the boys of RIT knocking one on the board.
And already we get to see in game number 1 a lot of unconventional cars as the goal scorer there. He's got a Triton, and if you don't know, the Triton is one of the most unused cars in the game. It's got a really weird hitbox. I do believe it's a Dominus hitbox, but if you see the curve on that car, it's got like a little bit of an extra box on it, which gives it a little bit extra slope. That one almost getting banged in. It's going to be cleared out. It's Sepward, my bad, that has it.
Yeah, got you. So it's all, I mean, if it's always personal preference. I mean, going through the years, we've seen so many weird card changes, so many card. I guess you could see.
Metas.
Style, yeah, metas more likely, and RIT, they maintain things, you know, relatively simple for most of their players, but still early on, it's going to be Joey Dubs actually collecting a huge pass. I mean, still with the attack from RIT thus far, double coverage over towards the wing, and you still had the anchor in mid just waiting for the pass. That pass had to be immaculate. Joey Dubs, he was in such a bad position in a sense to really be able to collect anything in front of net, so that ball had to be perfectly beamed towards him, and indeed they got it in. So Niagara now, they're in shambles. Already 2 minutes in, they're down 2-0, and look at the consistent attack from RIT again. They don't let up. Still a man anchoring on the front end. That's Sunblaze, very much a familiar face to us here in the RIT squad, but still Niagara. They're getting on yet another attack. It's Sunblaze still on the front end, looking for a pass off a backboard. It's going to bobble on in. Good clear, but still going to be in the control of RIT.
I've noticed something else. This is something that's really rare. As you know, playing Rocket League, the 3 main cars of the game, right? The Dominus, you got yourself the Octane, you got yourself the Fennec now, right? The newest main car that people use. But in this case, there's 6 different cars for 6 different players on the field. I just noticed that. And that's something that you don't see every day, ladies and gentlemen. It's actually very impressive. Now, I know we're talking about cosmetics and all that, but it's also a play style, right? Because there are so many different car hitboxes. Some of these are Octane, some of these are Dominus, but some of these are also Breakout and Fusion hitboxes. Hybrid, my bad, not Fusion. And those are really, really rare to see.
Yeah, no, it's a rarity to see such variety in a sense. Usually we're seeing a whole lot of Octanes and Dominuses, but at this point, RIT, I don't think they really care about the variety period from the Niagara squad, because in we go with just about 2 minutes left in the game. It's going to be Sunblaze knocking yet another one in with a team of Niagara getting a little bit discombobulated off the rotations back, a 3-0 start.
Yeah, it's 3-0. Both times Fusion was in the net, and on that third goal, it was Fusion passing it out. That was a great pass. Sadly,
oh, no way.
And how does this find its way in the back of the net? How does that one fly
we need a replay.
Distance? Well, replay is what we're gonna get. Oh wow!
Joey Dubs, look! I mean, just the reaction on him just to get his car on the ball. I mean, that's all he really wanted. Just at least get that body in, actually be able to get that ball forward. And I mean, it is what it is. It was a mosh pit on the front end. Niagara went all in for the shot. Not only that, but they had an anchor over in middle to just knock the ball in. Joey completely denied that. So RIT again, 4-0. This game already looks done and dusted. So we can continue to talk really about Niagara and what their playstyle is really like. Because honestly, in seasons before, they still had a massive opportunity at playoffs. Still, you know, at least with the MAC League and all that. But you have still remaining Ost, which, if I'm not mistaken, he's the in-game leader. He's going to be the captain for the team at the moment. And RIT, I mean, they don't really care about strategy at this point. I just kind of see this team pugging, just kind of taking it play by play. The communication is still very much on point, but these guys are just going hit by hit at the moment.
Not just that, right? They're a really decent team. Niagara, they're up against a team of 3 SSL players, right? Like, there's 3 Supersonic Legends on the side of RIT. This is not exactly a super team. It's not exactly what you'd call a CRL or an RLCS team, but it's still a really decent squad, right? 1800 plus MMR is really hard to hit no matter who you are, especially nowadays with the MMR reset that happened 2 seasons ago. A lot of players that used to be in the 1800s department are now in the 1500s, right? So these guys are the real deal. And when you're up against a team like that, and then you, right?
Wow, that's just unfortunate.
Well, it's tough. It's unfortunate, yes.
Oh, yeah, no, just this play alone, Sunblaze just pops one, but it really came down to miscommunication again. Ost wanted to go back for a boost. He had a teammate wing, if I'm not mistaken, that was Schnitzel. actually pretty much ready for it. So yeah, miscommunication from Niagara, RIT. They're going to be able to take up game one. But yeah, I mean, these players from RIT, they have a lot of CRL experience. I mean, let's not knock that either, because they're still part of the Eastern Conference. They've still been around for, I think, 3 years at this point, just around the entire CRL environment. So I mean, these guys, they're in a league of their own. I mean, it's always been like that when we've looked at EGF tournaments. It's always been them and UT Arlington. Of course, we've expanded a little bit, adding the Big East region and all that of the sorts. But RIT, coming into this game, they're just looking for another notch on the board, and indeed they get one in this set. It's going to be a 1-0 start.
Yeah, it's 1-0 for them indeed, and they take it in dominant fashion. They do so with a great score line that you like to see if you're RIT. You don't like to see it if you're Niagara, for sure. You're going to try and come back, right? That's exactly the whole point here. Don't take this line down. You come back here. You try and fight, even if it's David versus Goliath at this point.
Yeah, so just gotta take it goal by goal. And again, that first game was very much indication on what's about to go down really for the rest of the set. But I still believe that Niagara, still throughout the game, they had inklings of what would be a more defensive rotation. And I think still RIT, they're just all around the better team around the field no matter what. But even then, just Niagara, their communication was a little bit off game one, at least at the end of things. I mean, that was just one mistake that we could point out, just be like, yeah, no, that was a mistake. But there was still minute things, the micro interactions throughout the game that they weren't exactly able to convert or really change in general. So I think just going forward, Ost, he just wants to rally up the team and just be like, all right, boys, let's get back into this one. You guys all have your own set rules in a sense. Let's get the rotations running, at least get the tempo up, because again, Niagara didn't get any attacks really at all. Just a couple of bloops over towards the goal that RIT, they already had players directly on a rotation right from the shot. They were already ready to go on the counterattack, while Niagara, they were pretty much going all in on every attack that they had faced. So just the counterattacks in general have been deadly for them. But ladies and gentlemen, heading into game number 2, you have Niagara already with a little bit of a chance. But what a bump there from Sunblaze, catching it forward. Ost, again, very much off angle, but you're still going to have it just about 15 seconds. RIT sweating a little bit, but Joey Dubs on the anchor now on the front end. Almost able to bump it forward, almost able to deflect, but that unbelievably is going to be a goal for Joey Dubs. Let's see the replay once again, because Ost, he fails to get a bump down. He kind of miscalculates his approach, and then Joey Dubs, he was already following the ball in the first place. So now RIT, essentially out of thin air, they already get a goal down onto NU, and unfortunately, it's yet another one of those miscommunications, and Ost looks to be AFK.
Yeah, maybe a throne controller. It's very possible.
Something of the sort.
Something of the sort, because that was a beautiful individual effort there. As, yeah, he absolutely just followed his own ball towards the front of the net and then saw that past the Schnitzel was coming to defend it, trying to get the clear, and they absolutely just read the play, and they put it to the side. And, oh wow!
There you go. It's going to be the individual plays here, because, again, someone has to step up. Fusion Turtles, he essentially gets a gift here, and it's as simple as you can get. No flips, no business at all, and actually getting that goal, just a little bit of a chip. Beautifully done, but I think NU, are they still playing with 2? They are playing with 2. They just got to play at 4. That's just so unfortunate in a sense, but in the 2-on-3 against RIT, they were still able to get a goal, but oh my lord! Sunblaze! Oh man, this guy's just freestyling. Little 360, keeps the ball on the roof. Easy peasy. 1 minute in, RIT. They get themselves a second, and what I said before in terms of their quote-unquote pugging, just playing pickup games, it's indeed what it is.
I mean, you talked about how it's a 2v3. Okay. So one player is restarting their match. Sebward, I don't know if they're beaming at this point. They're giving a little bit of mercy, but at the same time, they're BMing a bit.
Right.
And, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it might be a restart, but again, a goal already went on the board. Just by that ruling in general, Ost was already active in the game. It would be up to RIT to really decide if they even want to play this game out, but even then, NU, they have no rule standings. Instead, now it's just going to come down to RIT and see what they actually want to pull off, and they're still playing this one out. Still on a 3-1 with just about a minute and or just about 3.5 minutes left with 1 minute or 1 minute and a half in. Sunblaze, he's just vibing out, going for a pinch. It's going to be a clear from past the Schnitzel. It could have been a little bit of a cheeky goal. And RIT, they're still going. They're still playing as if it's still a 3-on-3. No anchor towards the back either, just directly attacking the net. But yeah, I don't really know what else we could really say about this game, because this situation in itself is just so unfortunate. Niagara, it's a tough situation overall.
There's a lot more space on the field, and it shows that RIT is taking all of it. They're, as you said, freestyling. They're going for shots that normally they wouldn't go for. They're going for demos. They're going for a lot of things that they normally wouldn't go for in terms of if this was a 3-on-3, right? They were taking NU seriously before, and now I think they're playing with their prey.
Yeah, 5-in on the moment, but could potentially get another goal.
I mean, they potentially could, but I mean, that's NU, right? Because NU are the one that need the goal.
Yeah, they're the ones that really need to act at this point. It's just RIT with the lead, and they're vibing.
They definitely are. They're going for that kind of play. Did you see that tic-tac-toe attempt play there?
The tiki-taka, the 1-2-3, potentially. Again, they're looking for some sort of highlight. They're looking for the Twitch clips, which is really what we're seeing overall, but still, you have Pash the Schnitzel still on the front end. Sunblaze always on it. This guy has essentially been all over the field. Not only, of course, throughout this one game where it has been a 3-on-2, but in game number 1, it was really Sunblaze to really be the, I guess you could say, the initiator in terms of the defensive side and the midfield interactions. Just trying to get the ball forward for Sebward and Joey Dubs. So, again, Sunblaze still acting up on that same dynamic, and this might be going in, but past the Schnitzel. Good return back off the bloop. Still going to be Sunblaze and Joey Dubs on the front end to get themselves a fourth. 1:20 left. And again, I doubt that this game is going to get restarted, because again, the first goal already went by with Ost not AFK, so that would be the ruling in a sense. But again, it comes down to RIT.
Yeah,
it would pass our schedule a lot faster, though. I'll be completely honest.
It definitely would, but at the same time, I mean, it really depends if he can or can't come back as well, because it was really early on, right? 20 seconds
might be a sub or an FF.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. If he can come back into the game, right, already, I think this game too somehow went better, but I think that's because of the slight amount of mercy, no matter how BM it is, the slight amount of mercy that RRT are giving them.
Yeah, every single player, they're going for not individual plays, but they're going for, like I said, the clips. The best thing that NU can do is just take it like a champ, potentially defend against these insane setups that RIT are going for. God, so many options there for Joey Dubs too, off the aerial. Had a couple of passes in the mid lane, but in we go again, if I'm not mistaken. RIT might be letting off the gas pedal with just about 20 seconds left. We still have a game 3, folks. This is a best of 5, but okay. Pastor Schnitzel, nice shot. And an even better save from Sebward. Again, just a consolation goal if it ended up going in. Still nothing of the sort, but Ost is back. Comes in mid-game. Past the Schnitzel, trying to clear it out. 5 seconds left. Looks like we're back at full strength. Is now Niagara. They look to re-aim their targets back onto game 3 and potentially get one back onto RIT.
Yeah, that one's unfortunate for NU, but you know what? At least the scoreline was a lot lower than expected. 4-1. They scored one goal. That's something that they can be proud of, and it was a nice goal too. And they almost made it 4-2 with a very nice shot from past the Schnitzel that went into the top corner. Sadly, was stopped.
Yeah, a couple of chances here and there. There's not much to really hark at in a sense in terms of the boys of Niagara, but still, I guess you could say it was a little bit better of a game, but I don't think we can really chalk that up to Niagara really stepping up to the plate. It was really RIT with their BM style, as you mentioned before. I think in the next game, still with a 3-on-3, it will be a little bit better. We'll be a little bit more balanced. But I think it's all going to come down to really who gets that first goal, because really NU, they had their chances. When Ost was on the field, I still felt as if they had some sort of chance in the front end. Still off the kickoff, they had one singular chance. That's all they got off the 3-on-3. But still, I think the communication still needs to change up, though. We still saw Ost on the very last goal, or the very first goal of game number 2. He was the one that ended up allowing that to really go in, or really getting that miscommunication with his player in the net to allow that interaction to happen for RIT. So still things need to change up just a little bit more, but at this point, we're just waiting to see what actually happens. Still later on in our night, we have a couple of more games, and a couple of highlight ones in a sense, because the next one is going to be University of North Dakota facing off against Manhattan. Those are two teams really trying to solidify themselves in the season, but I think more importantly for our entire night, like you mentioned before, DePaul University and Marist College to finish off our night at 9 p.m. So still a packed schedule. I guess this game right here, if this does end up going to a 3-0, it puts us right back on track after our initial delay. So we're vibing out at the moment, Quantum.
We're vibing on, and yeah, after this Niagara and RIT game, we're gonna have North Dakota versus Manhattan, and after which Wichita State and then Xavier. Then we're gonna switch casters. I believe it's gonna be Danger Taco and Poppy, if I'm not mistaken, who's gonna take you on a journey to watch St. John's versus Siena, Georgetown versus Hofstra, and then it's gonna be DePaul versus Marist to end our night.
Let's go. All right, it's a big night. Apparently, off of that last game, apparently Turtles had actually scored his very first goal for the boys of Niagara. So cool. There you go. So a little bit of a debut for the Mansu. And again, Niagara, they ended up opening up last week with a dub in their hands. I think we can get a little bit of an update on the game too. I don't know if we're still continuing on schedule or FF or anything of the sort. Yeah, so still working on it. But folks, thank you guys so much for watching. I think at this point, when we're talking about the A stream too, there's still a lot of action going on over at official EGF. We have Fairfield University facing off against University of Colorado. That's definitely one to look out for at 6:45. At 7:30, another big one actually. This is a battle between two teams that are around the top 10 region, especially the latter. Villanova University facing off against UT Arlington. There is some upset potential in that one. UT Arlington looked a little bit scrappy last week and could potentially take on a little bit of a battle, but Butler University, a team that just got upset by the mid-table UConn, facing on against San Jose State University, the 7th place team coming into this week. That one definitely is one to look out for, because I mean, we've been talking about teams that are like fringe or like a top 10 team facing off against maybe like a top 15 or a top 20. These two are heavily in contention for a top 8 spot by the end of the season, so that game is definitely one to look out for. So overall, lots of action happening on tonight as we wait up for game number 3 between RIT and Niagara. But I wanted to ask you, Quantum, I don't know specifically any players that have caught your eye, so I wanted to ask you, we're at the mid-season. Is there any MVP choice for you thus far?
Oh my goodness, MVP choices through all the teams, right? You're talking about just
any team. Just launch a name and talk about it.
I love Mecha Fusion. Honestly, I know he's a C3 who's on a lowly team, but I mean, he brings it every single time. He really tries his best. I know the guy personally, that's why I like the guy. You know, he's really nice, but he's on one of the lower teams. And what can you do when you don't exactly have the pieces to go up against these big teams like UT Arlington, like RIT, right? So that's not exactly what you were trying to get as an answer out of me. I know, but
hey, I mean,
time waster. here, right?
Yeah, no, I think we're just vibing, but of course, it's really gonna be the friendos that you want to see succeed over throughout this season. So there you go, there you go.
Do you
Cool
have any
beans.
friendos in the league who
Honestly,
are
I
playing?
think all of my friendos have graduated. So
Oh, okay.
unfortunate. I'll be completely honest. They've all graduated. I'm a boomer in terms of EGF teams. So I wanted to say that it actually does feel really good to be back on an EGF broadcast because the last time that I was on, I think just for season 2 in general, I was just doing FIFA stuff because again, EGF for me was very much a platform for me to really kind of extend out in my casting career because I was still able to get my reps in for like Rocket League and still here for FIFA actually, but I still I'm very much appreciative of the fact that now I'm currently working for Riot, working for their Valorant Championship Tour, working for ESL with Counter-Strike. So I still got to come back to EGF, right? I still got to say hi to the new faces because, again, this is the first time that we've commentated, first time I've seen you work, and it's a pleasure here, Quantum.
Hey, listen, you got yourself quite the professional career ongoing, right? You got, like you said, you're up with Rito, and you're up with Valve, and game number 3 is underway here. We could talk about that career that's just up and coming from you, and will only grow with time. But it all started off with EGF, and right now it's gonna end with EGF for game 3 here of the first game. Oh my goodness, Sunblaze!
Oh man, I was saying, I mean, it has to come down to that first goal, to the first couple of seconds for RIT. They just continue to bang out that front end, but come on, not like this. What a goal from Sunblaze. Barely getting the angle on goal, and it's top right bins to get Rochester their first goal of the game, and they're looking for another one. Sunblaze all solo fighting up both Pablo and past the Schnitzel. And the ball still goes forward. Still nothing of the sort for now. Still 30 seconds into the game. Pass to Schnitzel, passing it forward. Still trying to get a pass in. Not going to happen. Still over towards the mid area. Sebword finding it forward. Sunblaze once again over in the back lines. If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't actually Sunblaze to actually go for the deflection, but it is what it is. Still pass up in the middle. Joey Dubs looking to play it up corner, but finally cleared out a little bit by Niagara, and in comes the counterattack with no boost actually from past the Schnitzel. So it's an easy counterattack to the counterattack. Sebword passes it forward. Joey Dubs still playing it up. Sunblaze, good patience, but he knocks it up for himself. But Joey Dubs, good communication actually. He knocks it up with, you know, all the knowledge that no one's actually going to be able to challenge it. Joey Dubs saying, hey, there's no one actually around you. You can go for that kind of stuff. 3:45 left in the game. You have Joey Dubs dragging it forward, still with a 1-on-2, but Pastor Schnitzel takes it away. Ost has to clear it out. He's been a little bit of a detriment to the defensive side, but his counterattacks have been important for the team thus far. Niagara still with a chance. Sunblaze taking it forward, or trying to take it away forward, but it's not going to happen. Still a counterattack from RIT, trying to take it into the middle. Joey Dubs playing it alone. Pass forward. Sunblaze off angle. Just about 2 minutes already down on the clock, and you have the boys of RIT just clearing up this front end and all of those rotations.
Yeah, they're absolutely styling. They're not scoring goals right now, but they're absolutely styling, not just in cosmetics, but also on the ball. Look at these insane passes, these insane touches they're getting. Look, Joey Dubs doesn't even push that ball. He doesn't even push the defense. He just put the ball into the zone. They're trying to get Twitch clips, as you said.
Trying to get the clips, trying to get at least something for the reel. I mean, potentially their YouTube game is on point. Who knows? But in goes Ost on the front end. Actually, a pretty good pass forward, but none of his teammates are actually there to try to collect. Sunblaze, more importantly, good anchor position for him. Just still waiting for that ball to actually be collected back, or potentially a pass forward. But almost literally, Joey Dubs just lets it pass. Oh my! Oh, that is wonderful. Joey Dubs, this man almost literally dropped his controller and just let everything fly. RIT, they tried to get the demos. The ball almost gets cleared out, but Joey Dubs, he just vibes out. He's just there chilling. 2-0 scoreline for RIT. And, yeah, Quantum, this one is looking like another fun one for RIT.
I've never seen such a BM goal in my life. That was amazing.
Yeah.
As spectacularly disastrous as that goal was, I've never seen such an amazing goal in my life. Even I've never scored such a goal before, and I'm literally silver.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you could probably catch up with your fair share of Smurfs. Again, I played Champ 1, and I get crapped on all the time. So yeah, for sure.
Oh wow.
Say a whole lot of BM, but I've never seen something like that. So still, RIT on the front end, trying to finish up this game, get it done and dusted. Niagara potentially with a consolation goal, but yeah, it's unfortunate. They've only gotten one on the net and really only 3 linear chances throughout this set thus far. It's really just been the RIT show once again as we get ourselves a third goal.
That isn't all Sunblaze, because yes, he does bring it in, but look at the left side post. There's a beautiful bump there. And who was that? That was Pablo, who just got yeeted aside, unable to do anything. They're just getting ragdolled.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I don't know how else to say it.
You can't really do much about it. We were talking about this before the broadcast too. You were talking about maybe theory crafting for casts. Yeah, well, what happens if a team just ends up rocking another one? This is exactly where we're pulling off, folks. Just talking about the game. Just talking about the teams. We have almost nothing to say about this matchup. It's just RIT having fun. Niagara just trying to get their consolation in, just trying to do whatever they want. And then, yeah, getting goals like those. Sebward takes it solo from the mid area. And just like that, it's going to be a 4th goal with just about 50 seconds left. It's a 3-0 scoreline, ending off the game for RIT. Is again Niagara. They're doing their best. They're giving their good old college effort. Yeah,
and on the other side, RIT are playing like those champ players that are in Mussie's challenge videos. You know, I don't know if you watch those, but like one champ player versus 3 plat players, right? This is pretty much how they're all playing on RIT, right? All 3 of those players are just having fun out there, and meanwhile, and you are trying to actually play properly, right? And they're so discombobulated from this whole thing, from this whole ordeal, because RIT aren't playing like an actual team, right? They're just memeing, which is definitely a throw-off, no matter who you are, right? Oh, yeah. And Joey Dubs. Oh no, that's one that will be clipped and will be used. I mean, the widest open net. You guys are memeing on these guys the entire time, and you can't even score that. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Well,
that's
they're still going for it, and actually buzzer beater at the end of things. Oh boy, that ball was on the complete other end of the field by the time the buzzer was actually about to go off. So you know what? Good job by both NU and RIT combining their efforts to get that last goal in, but there you go. Finally, we are done. It is RIT taking up the first game of the night, 3-0 over the boys of Niagara, and we don't really have anything else to add to it. RIT just having a bang-out game and just continuing their streak for the season. If I'm not mistaken, upgrading their streak to just about a 7 record? Yes, a 7-2 record for the season, but of course, we're going to be moving on to another game coming up in just a little bit. It's none other than University of North Dakota facing off against Manhattan. We'll be back in just a little bit. their team last week. And not only that, but in their game against UT Arlington, they ended up putting up 1 game on the board. And I forget who else that they were close to. I think it was Hofstra. Hofstra, a team that is even at the moment going into the spring split. Currently 4-4, if I'm not mistaken. University of North Dakota took them in a 3-2 game. So, I mean, still very much potential for this University of North Dakota squad. They just haven't had their linear chances or really some unlucky games. At least in this one, they're certainly showing their prowess. 7-0 thus far.
All right, and hey, it's 7-0. Manhattan got really close, and that was almost as safe as well. Listen, these guys expect to be blown out of the water week in, week out, no matter to which team they're up against. I don't want to know what RIT would do to them, honestly. What kind of shenanigans would we see?
I don't want to think about it either, because teams like RIT, I mean, we've seen it season by season, again and again. RIT loves to have fun with their opponents. They love to just sweep up these lower table teams again and again. So I don't want to think about it either. I think it's just it's a detriment to even think about it. I think we really have to just be thinking about game 2 at this point. Really about 2-3 minutes ago, we should have been talking about game 2, because this game is already down in the dumps. We might be seeing double digits on the board soon for University of North Dakota, unless Manhattan can really hold down the line.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that this happened to poor Manhattan, but oh my goodness, it's still heart-wrenching every time it happens, right? They were up against Hofstra last week and lost 5-0, lost 7-0, then lost 10-0, you know? Some weeks, they just go without scoring, and it's rough for them. But they come every single time, and it's all the players, right? It's all of these players. They all try their best to try it. That one almost doesn't go in. It goes off the crossbar. The 4th player on the team. Oh my goodness. So close.
A mess.
It is a mess, but it's a wonderful mess, you know?
Oh no, it's beautiful. It's wonderful to watch. Just that mosh pit on the front end. And it was actually a player from Manhattan to really allow that ball to really get in the right spot in a sense. But University of North Dakota, although, you know, you saw a play like that, someone had to be in the right position. Someone had to be anticipating a deflection like that. Still, we're seeing a lot of great mechanics from the University of North Dakota side, although we are just seeing a sweep up. So of course we're just seeing pure mechanics. I think really just going into the rest of this game, we shouldn't anticipate all too much in terms of action. Just trying to see what steps Manhattan are taking forward to potentially improve, to potentially just change up their play style from game to game. But all of these are just ridiculous. Oh my lord, Red Rocket nailing another one after a pretty good pass from Geeks. That was right in middle, but Red Rocket collected it a little bit early and way off angle. Wonderful. 11-0.
If you're North Dakota right now, you're taking this as a training session with your 2 other teammates, right? You're just like, okay, let's get some chemistry going. Let's get the passes flowing, you know? See, they're just back wall passing to each other there, right? 3 clear back wall passes, 1, 2, 3, back to back to back, and I mean, what do you want to do, right? If you're Manhattan College, right? I see that because I'm Diamond, right? I'm Fringe Plat 3 Diamond 1, and I see this team play, and I don't know where I would place myself, and I completely understand where these Manhattan College players come from, right? They're absolutely getting styled on. No mercy is being given.
No, sir. They're still going.
they really still are.
Although it is game 1, it's a little bit BM to just keep going for the ball off the buzzer, but it is what it is. Folks, 12-0 start for the boys of University of North Dakota. As again, not too much to really talk about in terms of the game. I think we just really need to move on into game 2 and just see.
Yeah, exactly. Listen. Hopefully something happens on the side of Manhattan, right? Or actually, sorry, on the side of North Dakota. Because most of the time when Manhattan score, it's a big oopsie on the side of their opponents. And normally it's the goal of the series. Very funnily, normally enough, when Manhattan find a way to score, it's the goal of the series. And they come in every single week. And listen, they know they're going to get beat.
It's the good old college try, like I said
Exactly.
before.
Like you said, you do Counter-Strike, right? So imagine like the one team versus like a team in the hundreds, you know, that just squeaked into let's say a top 32 team tournament, right? By winning a really minor tournament, and they faced up against a team like Navi or Astralis, right?
Yeah.
Get 16-0'd on both maps, let's say, right? Like
Yeah.
that's to be expected.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
Manhattan College.
That's
I
a
really
good way
hope
to
they
put
get
it.
better
I'm
with
not
time.
gonna lie. It's like watching, at least for these games, because I mean the whole format with EGF, it just comes down to the point where kind of D1 teams, they're not forced to put in a team. They're not really, they're not exactly, you know, put in a position where, oh no, you have to put in a Rocket League team. These players went out of their way to represent Manhattan, to represent this college, to at least give a try, to see what the competition is like, and they come here every week. I think we feel, I think the way that we're speaking about this team, it might feel a little bit more, I guess you could say pessimistic or something of the sort, but it's optimistic to the future. Who knows what this team could really do and improve in the future, and who knows who comes into this team and try to clean things up. Still at the very end of things, Manhattan College. What a save at the very end. Okay. What's his name? Rostison? Something. That's a long name. I'm sorry. Both of our, hey, that's a funny thing, right? The two casters in the booth right now. None of our first languages are English, but you know,
Exactly.
it is what it is. So we're giving our own college try here.
Yeah, we are. Hey, if we switch languages, you know, it's almost as hard for the people who listen to us to understand what we're saying as it is for Manhattan to find a goal in this day and age, right? But
Yeah.
I mean,
we feel their pain for sure.
Exactly. And the listeners would know their pain as well if they tried to listen to my
Oh!
French. There you
Wait
go.
a minute!
All of the series. I said it.
Okay, let's go. Okay, so let's actually run this down. So Manhattan, really throughout the entire first minute, let's stop being detrimental. Let's stop getting pessimistic, because these guys, Manhattan, still maintain the defensive side and that rotation very well. Of course, off a 10-0 victory, if I'm not mistaken, it was actually more than that. But still, Manhattan, they still had a different chance now. Their mentality switched up. They had a chance to just group up their rotation again and again. And now they have a little bit of an opportunity now. Yes, it's going to be a 1-0 scoreline, but they've kept the University of North Dakota scoreless for a minute. They got their own chance. And now with just about 3.5 minutes left in this game, tie scoreline. We have a ball game.
We have a game on the pitch, ladies and gentlemen. And hey, Manhattan, they're finding themselves a goal. And that's really all they come in to do week in, week out, right? They try to find those goals, giving themselves that momentum. Hey, they show up every time, right? We keep saying they show up, they show up, they show up. But what does it mean to show up when you know that you're going to get beat every single time? Is the resilience, right? It's you want to win. It's that want to show to the world that you got the will to fight, even if you can't fight, right?
Surely. Oh no, Jason. You can't be going up like that. You just can't. You know that there are better options. You know that you can turn around, man. What exactly is he going to do from that position?
Listen, these guys, they try their best, right? They're not top 10 players. They're not top, right? So, some of these guys, I think once you hit champ, you're a top 5% player, right? If I recall correctly, top 5% if you're in champ.
Something of the sort.
Something of the sort. It's either top 5 or top 10. GC is top 5, sorry, and champ is top 10. So these guys aren't top 10 players, top 10% players. You know, like they try their best. And listen, just like you and me, we started off somewhere, right? I don't know if you remember your first season.
By the way, I had no clue.
Did you when you started off, you didn't go directly to champ, of course, right?
No.
Just
it
like
took me like a year to get to champ. Yeah.
Yeah,
Took me
exactly.
a while.
And these guys, they get better at week in, week out, for sure. I can actually see the improvement from the first time I saw them on the pitch. The first time I saw them on the pitch, I was flabbergasted at, oh my goodness. That is a goal and a half. That is a great cannonball of a pass, shot right out of a cannon, and Red Rocket picks it up and puts it in with a double tap. Beautiful.
That's just nuts. That's just nuts. Yeah, they're having fun with it halfway through this game. And, well, yeah, University of North Dakota, again, they haven't had the most successful seasons. If I'm not mistaken, only 2 wins for them thus far. So mostly losses. They're still very much at the bottom bell curve of the league table. But, again, it's going to be the games off of this spring split to really give them at least the momentum that they need, because it's not going to be the games in EGF to really give them the experience that they would actually want. It's going to be the scrims outside of it. I don't know how much time Manhattan actually puts into those, but you still see them showing up. That's all that matters here, folks. And again, 150 left. It's going to be yet another opportunity for University of North Dakota. And that's a 6th goal for them, as Red Rocket and Geeks, they keep still fighting forward. And Geeks all alone. Good pacing. That's just nuts.
That is, I mean, it's great pacing, right? And Manhattan can say one thing. They scored the first goal in this game, right? And honestly, that's something they could take. They went up against Canisius a few weeks ago, and they scored 4 goals in that entire series, the most they've had in a total series. And I bet they were so happy with that, despite getting swept, right? They must have been so happy that they were able to keep it up somewhat, right? Normally, they get absolutely pounded into sand, right, by these guys. And although that's what happened in Game 1, in Game number 2 here, they showed a lot more resilience. It's 6-1 compared to 12-0. And it doesn't seem like it's because North Dakota is giving them mercy, right? On the opposite end, actually. I think North Dakota are trying even more now because, hey, we scored 12 goals in the first game, right? How come we can't score more than that in this second game? What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wait,
I guess
that's
so,
a second
but there
goal.
you go. Hey, Robitussin on the front end. All solo, essentially. Gets his way through, too. Juking on through Red Rocket. He had his own opportunity, but Robitussin certainly putting in a little bit of a dagger. Second goal for Manhattan here in Game 2.
They still have life.
Yeah, they still have life.
4 goals in 50 seconds. It's doable. It's been done before in Rocket League. I'm sure in the games that these guys have played, it has happened, right? I do like
it has in some universe. Surely it's happened. I would like to think so, but again, Manhattan, they would have needed some sort of miracle off the kickoff again and again to really make it work out. But again, that's not really the goal thing. It's the consolation really, where I look at it in this way. If a team at just around the end of the game, at just about a minute and a half left, if they could go scoreless, oh my god, if they could maintain a clean sheet, then it might be a good indication for the next game. But this is just disgusting. Geeks, he completely discombobulates the 3-man mosh pit of Manhattan in their own goal, and it just doesn't matter. Still drags in the shot, and just like that, it's going to be a 7-2 scoreline still. A big opportunity. Robitussin still with a save as, again, Red Rocket passed down. Might actually be an opportunity. Cannonball needs to send it forward. And just like that, it's going to be the end of the game. 7-2 scoreline potentially at the end of things. No goal at the end. So still a 2-0 scoreline going into Game 3. And still we're anticipating the University of North Dakota just to continue just this streak in general. But we saw some glimpses of hope for Manhattan.
Definitely. And listen, when you don't let in a lot of goals, that's another telltale sign, right? How do you say that?
Telltale sign. You got it.
And it's good, right? Like, it's a good feeling. I'm looking back. I think this is week 7. I am week 6. They played up against Fairfield, and in Game 3 they lost 2-0 to Fairfield. You know, and even if that was a bit of a mercy game, even if it was, I'm not saying it was because I did not cast that game, so I do not know, I do not remember. But only letting in 2 goals from a team like Fairfield, is quite impressive if you're Manhattan, right? And that's something that you take to your heart. And of course, you guys keep practicing. You aren't the best players in the world, but if you want to become the best players in the world, the first thing you need to do is play up against competition that's a lot harder than you. And I learned that the hard way myself, right? I got myself up to Diamond by playing up against Diamond 3s and even Chap 1s, right? And most of the time, you learn from those players, right? You learn how to position yourself. You learn how to, which balls you should go for, which you shouldn't, which you should retreat on. You learn how to talk with your teammates, how to trust each other, right? And with time, with scrims, and with games like this, with patience and everything else that comes in between, they will find a way to win a game.
Yeah, I mean that's the hope. And still with these guys with these guys at University of North Dakota, they're not going to let off the gas pedal. There's already just about 25 seconds left. Red Rocket, good win out on the ball. Robitussin, good effort. Super close in actually getting that ball away. And overall, Robitussin, he had a good game one overall. Although, yes, we saw University of North Dakota just go nuts in terms of the shots, you still had a Robitussin near the midfield area as an anchor, still fighting for most of these balls. Actually getting in some pretty good tries in. So still Manhattan College, a couple of opportunities here and there for them, but they haven't been able to get the ball really out of their own end. But once they actually do so, they have a lot of good options. Still, Robitussin has to fight forward, 0 boost, and still wins it out, just puts a body in front. Still no boost, has to fight forward, rocking 7 up in front, ball knocked away. Ooh, okay. Deflected off to the wing. Still going to be another opportunity for University of North Dakota, as now it's Cannonball. Robitussin again. Wonderful from Rob. And still Geeks fighting for it. It doesn't seem like University of North Dakota are losing out on any options either. Almost every time that it seems to be cleared, always some sort of player on the blue side is there to collect it back. Nice little bump too that's going to open up the nets. And oh, there you go. Robitussin once again with a stop. This guy's going nuts.
Yeah, these guys are turning up the tempo. It's like they got poked enough, right? The Bear got poked. They've let in 20 goals. They're tired of letting them in. They're going to stop them now is what they're saying. It is only a 1-0 game. They keep it 1-0. That's a great save.
Wonderful effort, and still still the opportunity for him, but wasn't able to get anything. Also off that backboard should be someone there to actually collect it back, but rocking 7, there you go. Yet another great save, another opportunity knocked away, and no collection. Instead, now it's a counterattack. In comes Manhattan. Robitussin sends it forward, still rocking 7 over towards the mid side. It is going to be Cannonball having to go back. Same thing with Geeks. Geeks off the roof, trying to do something spicy with it, but can't really get anything. Oh, there you go. Rob, not going to be able to get it forward. Are you kidding me? Another little tap there towards the net. He would have been able to get a goal, but just like that, still University of North Dakota still up 1-0 halfway through the game. We got packet loss. We don't care. We're still going through. Double in net. They attempt to at least get the ball out of their own end. Cannonball, pass forward. This could be a shot on net. No. Bumped up. Red Rocket still just trying to get another opportunity in for the boys, but still nothing. He's delaying as much time as possible. Jason C can't get an axle on it. But that's another great save from Robitussin again. Wonderful rotations from Manhattan. It might just break apart, but no. Again, another opportunity where University of North Dakota can't get a shot in. Robitussin once again has to clear it on away. Geeks is here. Great pass. Wonderful pass, in fact. Red Rocket is there. You gotta be joking me. I mean, University of North Dakota, they had to pull everything to get that goal.
Oh my goodness. Even as GC's there, oh my goodness. The packet loss is hard. I think, yeah, okay. I think they're gonna if both teams are willing to restart the server, I do believe here.
Yeah, potentially so. Looks like a couple of players there are AFK.
Oh my goodness. Can we talk about the last 3 minutes of that game?
Nuts.
Did Manhattan just keep up? Like, even, like, you're a GC, right? You're playing on for the team here, right? For North Dakota, you're absolutely just flabbergasted by the fact that you've been denied by. And this is exactly how I said that Fairfield didn't necessarily throw that last game up against Manhattan, right? Because those 3 minutes just prove that Manhattan can keep up if they stay in their net and they play defensive. They can play amazing defense.
Yeah, I mean they still showed they still showed individual prowess, good communication overall, right? Everyone still
Exactly.
had a chance to go back into the nets. I don't think we saw really any players really acting as an anchor or as an initiator at all. It was just good defense. Every player knew that their goal was just to go back in net, and that's exactly what they ended up pulling off. Folks, you guys saw that, of course, we had the packet loss going down. Of course, the serve has to get reset. I think we had just about 2 minutes left on the clock and 2 goals in, so I think we're going to reset to that score line or something of the sort by around that time. But until we end up getting that fixed, we're going to go to a quick break if our producer allows us, and we'll be right back with a continuation of Game 2 between Manhattan College and University of North Dakota. Stay tuned.
We're back in Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here for game number 3 between Manhattan College and the University of North Dakota. We're going to start it off 1-0 here really early on. I'm still here with Upmind. He hasn't left my side. And we've been having some issues, but that's the way to start.
I don't think it's game 3. We still are on game 2, but we're still going to be I think just continuing out the game in terms of clock. I don't know when that clock is supposed to end, and I think that the scoreline is still 1-0. Again, we don't have that communication from the teams yet, but University of North Dakota, I don't think they really care about that at all. 15 seconds in, just about 15 seconds into the game, they already get themselves a 2-er. That's just unfortunate.
Yeah, and you know what else is insane is the amount of people in the chat right now. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching the games, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are the reason why we can do this week in, week out. Very nice indeed. 30 seconds into this game. Let's see if Manhattan can do some defensive magic like they were doing earlier on. That was not as close as I'd want it to be. Great pass from Geeks popped up in the air. Nothing much Jason could do here, though he tried to pop it up. He was close.
Real close still, but again, 30 seconds in. Nothing of the sort for Manhattan. Not a singular attack, in a sense. It's just been these kickoffs going directly in the favor of UND, but that could be it. Yes, sir. Manhattan College getting one back on the board. This time it's actually Rocking 7 all in his lonesome off. Not only the kickoff, but a great deflection as cannonball. He had full boost. He had a full opportunity to get that one back, but instead, good off angle shot, and that's going to be a 3-1 score line as once again, ball in the back end. No, Robitussin, you gotta be kidding me.
That looked like a ghost touch. That looked like a ghost touch to me. Maybe we'll see it here. Oh yeah, definite ghost touch.
Right.
That is sad to see. I think he hit it on his server side, but client side, but not on server side. That's a ghost touch, ladies and gentlemen. When you hit it on your side of the screen, but the game in real life just didn't actually do so. Oh my goodness, the amount of shots right now, the amount of pressure is so hard right now. It's like at the bottom of the ocean. They're turning Manhattan College into, like, what's really hard condensed ice? Ice 7, there you go. They're turning Manhattan College into Ice 7.
Ice 7. I don't know where you get I don't know where you get these. I don't know where you get these terms, but I'll just be completely honest. I think it's just cold at this point that UND, after what was Manhattan I mean, that's the thing with these game resets, right? Where all the momentum is gone. That is just it is just no shot. I mean, you had your mentality in the right place. Everyone was already bowled through the game. The kickoff had already happened more than a minute ago, and at this point, they're just taking it shot by shot. And we're going to be seeing a Brazil-Germany scoreline. UND 7-1 over Manhattan College. in this second game. Again, I don't know when the timer is going to be ending, but man, oh man, you gotta feel rough because still UND, some insane shots into goal, into the net. Manhattan College, they just haven't been able to really get anything flowing for them in the backside. And now Jason C all on his own can't exactly get himself a good angle to get it out. Not only that, but barely any boost. He used up all of it to actually go forward, over towards the ball to try to collect a kickoff. And, well, now that he's back, he gets overwhelmed by a 3-man rush from the UND side. That's 8-1.
Yeah, 3 minutes and 47 seconds left in the game. And yes, they're going to play the entire thing because that game, because it is game 3, right? Game 1 was 12-0. Game 2 was 7-2. And so game 3 here, 90 seconds in, it's 9-1. They could possibly 30-5 this team or something insane. How many times do you think they're going to try and score here? I don't know if they're going to go all out or if they're going to give mercy at some point. What are you thinking here?
No mercy. That's all.
No
I'm
mercy?
seeing.
All
Yes.
right, let's make a record here with Manhattan College, right? Is practically what they're saying. Let's make the game with the most amount of goals we could do. And that's exactly what North Dakota are trying. It's 10-1. And oh my goodness.
That's unreal. Again, geeks. Totally just a pop. Jason C, rocking 7, totally off angle. I mean, they could have been able to potentially just get the ball up towards post to at least try to take it back, get themselves a second chance at a bobble, but nothing of the sort. Instead, it is going to be UND with just about 3 minutes left into game 3, and Cannonball, oh my god, what a chance. Still nothing. Again, it's coming down to that same mentality that we saw from RIT. It's just a freestyles. You just go all over the place. It's so fun. But in comes Rocking 7, trying to collect a consolation. Geeks still taking it forward. Good stop from Jason. Now it's an opportunity. Robitussin still on the front end. And Jason, he gets completely knocked out of favor. Red Rocket essentially let that ball pass him. And that was essentially act as a fake. You'll see Jason C trying to go back. He tries to just completely bobble it, and just Red Rocket's in a great position. More than enough momentum and all in his lonesome. That's going to be with just about 2 minutes and 40 left on the clock. An 11-1 scoreline. University of North Dakota. They are indeed going for their record on the season. Yeah,
they're no longer on pace for 30-0, but, well, 30-1 because that was one of the first goals in the game. Oh, they tried. They're trying for 12-1. They're trying again, the crossbar in the post. Playing some amazing defense. Patrick Hua would be proud. Oh, my goodness. 2 minutes and 12 seconds left on this clock. Ladies and gentlemen, so much time left. It's 12-0 on pace for a 20-1 game, which unheard of.
Yeah, again, unheard of, especially at this point of the table. Still UND very much mid-table. Manhattan College, they haven't won a game just yet. I mean, it is what it is to that extent, where UND, they wanted a lot of momentum heading into the spring split, but never to this extent, right? 12-1, just about 2 minutes left.
Yeah, that's a lot to have here. 12-1. I don't think I'm gonna check real quick. How many times have we had a scoreline of more than 12 goals twice in a series? You know, because there was the 12
probably not too many times.
One, and it's 13-1 now. We still have 107 seconds left on the clock here. Oh, my.
Indeed we do. Indeed we do. And, well, in we go, folks. It's going to be Cannonball with yet another pass up forward. And no, the double commit. The communication is breaking down for Manhattan. Oh, yeah, actually, I hate to see that. That would have been a great clear by either Rocking or Jason, but they both go for it at the same time, and that ends up negating both of their efforts. 14-1, Manhattan College. It's, I mean, they had what was a great game 2. You just got to chalk it up to that. And UND, now at this point, still rocking what would be that same momentum that they had in game 1. They still had a great scoreline in game 2. Geeks is going nuts. Same thing with Cannonball. Same thing with the Red Rockets. These guys are just going for insane individual plays, and Geeks just doesn't care. Look at that. Beautiful movement to stabilize himself and still nailing it on net, with Manhattan having nobody in net, being able to save that one out. So 15-1. 15-1.
15-1. You might be laughing, but I do want to say that the record, I do believe, is 13-1. So this is absolutely getting destroyed. And not only that, do you know who it was up against? It was up against Manhattan. Manhattan led in
16-1.
Oh, it's 16-1. Oh, it's hard. Oh, it's so hard to watch.
It's rough.
It is so rough.
Well,
the record is 13. This is absolutely gonna get decimated. There's 73 seconds left on the clock, man. Oh my goodness. I don't know. It feels like it's as if Spawn killing someone in CS:GO somehow. I don't know if that's even possible, but that's just what it feels like, right? Like, oh, that demo is so unnecessary. Oh my god.
They're doing everything in their power to completely BM this. So
God.
no, you're absolutely right. This is an EGF Season 2 record with UND nailing 17 goals thus far. Are we gonna see 20? Are you kidding me? Might we actually see 20?
I said 30 earlier on because they were on pace for 30 goals earlier on, but then they went to, I think, 30 seconds without scoring a goal. Can you imagine scoring 17 goals in 4 minutes with 40 seconds left? 18 goals.
You can't even do it in a casual game. I mean, that's like, this is just one of those games where Manhattan they've completely stopped playing. It just is what it is. You can't really scrap it up more than that. But here, folks, we are not here for the spectacle of the game. We're here for the spectacle of the goals, because now 18-1, 2 goals off of the 20, and they're still going for it. Cannonball, knocking it forward. Okay, there you go, Manhattan. Still with an opportunity on the front end. No boost for Cannonball. He just essentially has to play it off alone. Nice little pinch. Gonna try it off to the left wing. Geeks collecting it back. Could potentially get a pass forward. Indeed, he does over towards the wing. Jason C. Good fight, but even then, still one out by the boys of UND. Up on the wall. Pass forward. Manhattan. 10 seconds left to deny the incredible scoreline, but it's still gonna be a goal. Oh, no way. 19-1 with 7 seconds left on the clock. Can we see it? Could it happen? Unreal. I mean, the highest scoreline I've ever casted, and I don't cast that much Rocket League, it's really just been more tier 2 stuff, so you don't exactly see these insane score lines. The highest scoreline I've seen was I think it was like 9-3. So just the earlier game had superseded it, but now we're looking for a 20th. Still, ball up in the air, trying to get to the corner, and it hits the ground. University of North Dakota setting a Season 2 record of 19 goals in a singular game. That's just nuts. That's just nuts.
That is absolutely nuts. I don't know what else to say. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I don't know what to say other than, oh my goodness, it's 19-1.
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness. You know what? Manhattan scored 3 goals in this series. Yeah, that's more than what they scored regularly in any series. So they can take that away as their grain of salt, right? Or their grain of assault, as we just saw here. Oh my goodness.
Folks, it's been real. Game number 3 coming up in just a little bit. It's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, none other than Wichita State University facing off against Xavier. It's going to be a battle between Xavier, currently in the top 10 of the league, almost undefeated at this point, and Wichita State looking to at least get themselves a little bit of a start here in the spring split. We'll be right back. Welcome on back, folks. Our 3rd game of the night is between Wichita State University and Xavier University. I'm your host, Upmine, joined here by none other than Quantum Deathcat, and it's a full best of 5 to try to get ourselves a little bit more solidification on what the hell is going on with Wichita State University and Xavier this season, because these two teams, they've still been very much contested in terms of their records. Xavier definitely heating up a little bit more, and now, folks, Xavier with a little bit more of a name brand lineup, still maintaining almost the same that they had from the last season. Mainly our boys of Brosive and Satisfied Onion. Currently with a decent start, had a big opportunity over toward the attacking end, and from downtown, none other than Alex nailing in the first for Xavier. And oh my, that's just a bloop and a half. Top left bins.
Bar down and in, you love to see that, and that is a beautiful goal to start us off, and I think that is the perfect goal to start us off, because both of these teams are in the playoff hunt 100%, and although Wichita aren't as strong as Xavier so far this season, Wichita are still in it, and I'd say that they're probably one of the teams that have had the worst luck so far this season.
That's an interesting point, because again, Wichita, they've always had some sort of like massive chance in some of these seasons to really make it into the playoffs, especially from I think the last season of EGF that I ended up casting. They were just about 2 or 3 positions off of a playoff series, and now thus far their schedule has been so tough. And this is yet another one of those battles where, again, they just have to take it goal by goal, play by play. And oh boy, not again. Oh, Brosive. Perfect angle off the backboard, bounces right in front of the line, and they just can't do anything about it. That is just wonderful from Brosive.
Beautiful by Brosive Hamboni. That is the goal you want to see if you're Xavier, right? You absolutely want to start off this way. Wichita are scary when they start getting going, and so everyone on the side of Xavier need to score at least 1 goal before being satisfied, such as this Onion over here.
Yeah, no, just straight bangers in terms of goals. I mean, Brosive has always been a huge individual component for the Xavier side, but when you have players like Satisfied Onion, he can also pull off some great mechanically based goals like that. I mean, hell yeah. This team is still very much in contention for a high spot this season, and I mean, you see it from their record, you see it from the games that they ended up pulling off. In Wichita State, this is really their battle to win. It's Xavier's game to lose, and it doesn't seem like they're really letting off the gas pedal at all early on in this game. Just about 2 minutes in, we already have a 3-0 scoreline, but in comes an actual attack now for the boys of Wichita. In comes Qui Gon Jin, trying to knock it forward. You still have Swan Dog. They're just maintaining the pressure. Mr. Gopher, same thing. Nice little bounce back too. Qui Gon Jin still was ready, at least for knock forward, and oh, bounces off the post, not gonna be able to go in. Oh, Wichita, their first real opportunity of the game, it gets squandered, as now we have a counterattack in for Xavier. Satisfied Onion with a pass, it's gonna be left out for Brosive. Brosive with the off angle, it's gonna go off just a little bit wide off the post, but still, Xavier booting on the pressure. Wichita State, yet another opportunity. Brosive, don't really see him making those types of mistakes, but even then, ball's still very much in their control, as now Brosive still has to fight for it with the low boost. Lots of boost starving at this point. Xavier's losing out.
It's actually quite incredible to see, right, that these teams are playing pretty strong, right? Wichita is still playing strong, but you see that they are forcing mistakes like that from Onion. Onion is just in front of the zone here. That's a good push. And oh my goodness, what do you want to do there if you're Xavier? You're absolutely hounded by this Wichita State team. 2 minutes left on the clock, and anything can happen.
Yeah, that's just a very fundamental goal. Multiple balls on net, and all of them just get cleared out over towards the side. By the very end of things, your rotation just gets completely shut down. So if anything, it's just going to be Qui Gon Jin with an easy shot in. But speaking of easy shots, Brosive from downtown just goes straight into net as Swan Gain leaves it right up towards him. Good read, good bounce, and that's just going to be another one. Xavier, they took out a little bit of a heart attack, but they're already back with another one. 4-1 now. I mean, it's a weird one, right? Quantum Death, because I mean, you try to talk about what are the chances for these teams trying to pull off an upset, because really tonight is full of the underdogs. Really, what can they try to pull off against these squads? And Wichita seems to be the one with the highest chances.
Wichita is definitely the one who you should keep an eye out on, because they're trying really hard, and it shows when they score goals like that. Satisfied Onion passing it to himself, and listen, that's a great clear out. No one really there to be able to play defense, because they just went all out on offense. And why wouldn't you, right? You're down 4-1. You need the goals. You need them right now. And oh my goodness, Xavier just bring the heat.
It's consistent over towards the back line, but yet another counter attack. This time Xavier, mixed with Alex, had a chance on the front line. Good deflection. Qui-Gon Jin leaving his team with an opportunity, and oh, Mr. Gopher leaves it right in front of Satisfied Onion. Still, you have Swan Dog. Ooh, that's a weird angle to bounce off of. Could have given Wichita a quick opportunity, but with just about a minute left, doesn't really seem like they're really collecting all too much off of this. Still Alex trying to clear out. Broseph, good pass. Actually, two players trying to go up for it, and that's just going to be a big opportunity. Lots of momentum off of it as Broseph actually gets a demo at the end of things. 40 seconds left. Bounce back. Satisfied Onion still maintaining the attack. Still nothing, I guess you could say, accumulating for Wichita in terms of counterattack, but they finally get something going, and there you go! Broseph coming in at the perfect time. A little bit of a bobble in the midfield, but Qui-Gon Jin was there at the perfect time. 20 seconds left. Ball's knocked forward. This game is done and dusted. Xavier's going to be able to take game one, but Wichita State, they're showing some glimpses of hope.
Yeah, glimpses of hope indeed. This one is done and dusted, as you say, 11 seconds on the clock. But we got ourselves our first game, and Wichita showed us plenty of hope for this series for sure. We got ourselves a series. This one is probably going to be our closest one, although game one score isn't exactly showing that. Right. I'm pretty rested assured that we will find something great in the next two games here.
Ooh, that was nuts. Okay, Alex. Okay, Alex. I mean, just a quick opportunity, but that's finally going to be the game again. Wichita State, we still very much anticipated this, at least game two, for them to get off to a little bit better of a start. But it's like, it's the same thing with a lot of the other teams in terms of what would be early momentum. They get themselves like a singular opportunity, and that really opens up the floodgates. And that was really the hopes, in a sense, for Xavier. They had their rotations down a little bit earlier than anticipated, while Wichita struggling on the defensive side. So still going into game two, I still very much anticipate players like Broseph to still be very much active on the front end, especially as an anchor. We're seeing him kind of laying around the field a little bit more, almost as a lurker. So I wouldn't be surprised if he actually starts being a little bit of a detriment over towards the back rotation of things for the boys of Wichita. But otherwise, I still am hopeful, in a sense. I think all of these games have been too far of an underdog story for me to really believe in them, but this one's a little bit different.
Yeah, Wichita, we believe in Xavier winning this, right? Because Xavier are the team to beat here. It's Xavier's series to lose. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The way it's saying that?
It's what I said earlier. It's Xavier's game to lose. It's the odds are with them. They have the right chemistry, in a sense. I like their communication too. Always having at least someone over towards the back end and really just calling out anything that they see off of the counterattack. So yeah, definitely, I believe that it's their game to lose.
So if Wichita State here just come out and absolutely go to town, right, on the Xavier team, win a game, still even just getting a lead at any point, right, would be surprising. And if they are able to keep it for a minute, two, they might get themselves quite the amount of momentum, and that would have been a way to start it. That's a great save, though, as Mr. Gopher is trying to put it out in the front. Oh my goodness, we're already starting off quite strong on the side of WSU.
Yes, sir. Wichita State still on the front end. That was actually Qui-Gon Jin with a big opportunity early on, but a big bump, actually. He's going to leave a little bit of a space for Satisfied Onion. I mentioned Broseph being such a detriment on that back end. He's being so annoying. He ended up bumping off a couple of players off the mid-range rotation, so Xavier actually was left up with a big lane. But instead now, ball left forward. Alex, nice little pass, and he's going to be able to go for it again. Yet another opportunity. Broseph has to be the one to fight for it, but instead he has to go back for the rotation. Shot up by Gopher. Broseph all over the place. He's on that immediately. Same thing with Qui-Gon Jinn, but no one's going to be there for the pass. Instead, this is just crunching time off the clock and allowing his players to rotate back for the boosts. It's good time management, but Xavier, they're the ones maintaining the tempo, I would like to say, for now. Qui-Gon Jinn, that is so risky of a pass. Oh, goes a little bit off angle. Was a little bit of a chance for Xavier at least. But, oh no, that one almost goes in. Almost a hard bobble. Would have been one of the biggest mistakes that we've seen of the night, but even then, it is covered up in the end. 1 minute and 30 have gone by, and it's a clean sheet.
Clean sheet indeed. We see, I mean, listen, Wichita State coming out here and getting some offense, which is exactly what they need. Xavier on the defensive end, this is not where they normally want to be. This is not where they expect it to be either, because, right, Wichita State, they looked like, on paper, like a pushover team, but they're definitely not a pushover team. As I said, they're probably the most unluckiest team so far in this season 2 of EGF.
Ooh, okay, just about halfway through our game almost. Still Wichita State. I mean, we've seen a whole lot of games from this team where it's just been very consistent in terms of defense. So if anything, they're just relying on their guns. Still on that back end, still on that back end, they're having a great time defending, but off the counterattacks, they're not able to get anything linear thus far over towards the front end. Their passes almost seem like clears. Their shots also seem like clears. And it's a weird time. It's a weird time now for WSU where they're struggling to get a chance, but one person has to be able to create it. And, oh, wow. Wow. Okay, that counterattack completely breaks down. One player left essentially on mid-rotation, and Mr. Gopher. Nice little reaction to get the ball out of his teammate's net. Swan Dog, good stop on the pass. That's going to allow at least one of their players to get on up and try to get a stop, and indeed he does. Mr. Gopher with a pass, but the double bounce is actually going to be a little bit of a detriment. Doesn't allow that entire sequence to happen. 150 left. Qui-Gon Jinn in the back. Good read on it off the double bounce pinch. 145, satisfied Onion with a pass forward. Qui-Gon Jinn. No, instead it's actually Mr. Gopher to knock it on away, and he's still going for it. Nice time being knocked out the clock. Lots of boost being taken up, and not only that, but just resetting the positions, and in come the actual attack. Qui-Gon Jinn's going to be able to fight up for this one. A little bit of a 50-50, but still Alex takes it away. Bounce over towards the backboard. Still trying to get on down, but still nothing of the sort. 120 left. Xavier still has Broseph in the back line, but good fight again. Mr. Gopher being so pivotal for this team on the front end, but a massive pass forward. Nobody in middle. Swan Dog, same thing. Nobody's ever going to be ready for that, but in we go. Satisfied Onion. Oh, this is where he thrives. Huge chance, but Mr. Gopher is there to knock it up. In comes the counterattack. One player in the back line. It has to be Alex to completely clear it out by himself. 1 minute left. And Mr. Gopher leaves it off in a weird area where it's knocked forward. There you go. A whole minute and a half sequence where WSU was going back and forth with Xavier, and we could see a game back in their favor.
Oh my goodness, I don't know if you saw that, but the Gopher just popped out of his hole in the ground, popped the ball higher in the air than the defender expected, and suddenly that's a pass to his teammate. And that shot was not expected whatsoever. And that's how we open up this game. Less than a minute left on the clock. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we got ourselves a series.
Oh yeah, we got a series, and we got definitely a game, as now WSU might be putting a little bit of a dagger, because Mr. Gopher fighting up solo in the corner, but it was Qui-Gon Jinn to really consolidate things. Xavier, they were looking for a hard clear, looking for the wing, actually. Someone wasn't anchoring on that left side, but still, WSU have all the options, and a second goal for him. Just about 25 seconds left. Again, anything can happen. You guys already know how it is in terms of Rocket League. Still a pass forward. Gonna be Alex collecting it forward. They need someone there to collect that last shot. Yet another bobble. Nobody up in the air. More time being crunched off the clock. 15 seconds left. Qui-Gon Jinn knocks it forward. He's gonna be taking it alone. This man has no boost. Knocked away, 7 seconds, 6 seconds, in we go. Brosif wants a goal and he needs it now, but it's not gonna happen. Ladies and gentlemen, the game's over. Wichita State, they tie up the scoreline 1-1.
That second goal was so important. Imagine letting that one in the final few seconds, because that offense from Xavier was so dangerous, so potent, and we just saw an immaculate game from Wichita State. Yes, it's Wichita State, right? That won this game, and we're tied at 1 in the series. We just said it'd be amazing if Wichita State stole a game here, and then they didn't steal this one. They outright won it.
Yeah, I mean, they still very much a fundamental defense in a sense. Nothing too crazy. We didn't see the stylings of the boys of Xavier or anything of the sort. So if anything, it was more just WSU going back to basics. Good rotation, getting away from the bumps, getting away from the demos, and that was really one of the things that Xavier was missing. They were looking to really break up the rotation, but they found themselves so many times in just awkward situations in just trying to get the ball forward. But man, oh man, yet another chance for Wichita State as Game 3 gets underway, and we almost got an early goal. Xavier now on their way forward. It's Alex trying to get the ball, at least up to center, but Swandog fighting it solo. Fights it up against 2 players all on his lonesome. Still Brosif. Oh, here we go. Brosif. Oh, nothing. Qui-Gon Jim, that's just a good one. Time getting knocked off the clock. This is where the fun really starts, because now we just see really Xavier start to get into their own head. What do they want to develop?
What do they want to develop exactly? And I mean, listen, if you're Xavier here, you need a decisive win, just like in game number 1, to prove to people that, hey, we're fully deserving of our record, right? We're fully deserving of playoffs here. Wichita State, we're better than them. But if you're Wichita State, that win was a statement, and you definitely got to Xavier's head here, because, oh my goodness, Xavier are not as punchy, they're not as direct, and the passes are not working as they did in game 1. This is a brand new team here, and we are seeing the bad side of Xavier here, but the good side of Wichita.
Again, it's Xavier's game to lose, but still Wichita that's booting on the pressure and really showing a new look to the lineup. There you go, Swandog, what a pass. No goal for it, though. It was a little bit too high pace, too high tempo, but in we go still, as the counterattack hasn't been developed for Xavier just yet. Qui-Gon Jin actually fighting up for that one, allowing his teammates to rotate off, as now Mr. Gopher is here. It's just a little lineup. One player goes in, one player goes out, and they're just maintaining that same wing pressure, as now in comes Swandog. A little bit of a lucky second bounce, but it is what it is. Good control. Ball is back now. Xavier with a massive opportunity. Mr. Gopher tries to take it on away. Big pass up to the center, but he's going to miss out on the second tap. Instead now, centered up. No counterattack. Xavier still maintains it on the blue side. Alex needs a pass here, but in we go. Couple of players caught off on the rotation for Xavier. They need to fight this one out on their lonesome. Oh, Satisfied Onion,
no.
Open net. Not exactly open net. Mr. Gopher was actually there, but massive opportunity. Couldn't get the ball in, but instead still an opportunity as now Alex here for the shot, but it goes wide. 2:15 left, and it's still 0-0. Oh, again, we're feeling deja vu as Wichita State, their defense, immaculate at the moment, but maybe not the counterattack. That was a massive opportunity that could have just been missed out, but a nice shot to really collect that one back. Swandog again collecting it forward, but still sending it forward is Alex. Qui-Gon Jim has to shut it down, but again, you still have a little bit of an anchor, but that was Satisfied Onion going down. Brosif in the back. I actually want to go back. I mentioned the name Brosif. The one key to Wichita State is shutting down Brosif. Brosif hasn't been able to develop any of his own individual plays or anything of the sort. It's been Wichita with a lot of good midfield pressure and just shutting down those chances before they even accumulate. This is a massive, well done job by them. But Xavier, they still have a chance. It's still a 0-0 scoreline.
Still tied at zeros with 80 seconds on the clock here. There were plenty of opportunities, and each time Xavier were just caught out of position, you know? There was a wide open net for Alex, and he just landed and couldn't get himself properly on his two wheels, and there was Satisfied Onion who couldn't put down the ball properly, and it's going to allow for Gone Jim to open up the scoring for Wichita. 60 seconds on the clock left, and we got ourselves a 1-0 game. Oh my goodness gracious, ladies and gentlemen. Could Xavier be so much in their heads right now?
Again, no clue. Xavier, they needed something to get back into it, and just a goal back. Again, we have not seen a goal from Xavier in over 7 minutes of play, and they finally get one back on the board from Satisfied Onion, just getting an open one. Folks, it's drama. 55 seconds left here in game number 3. Score tied up 1-1, both in this game scoreline and in the set, but that was a massive opportunity. Mr. Gopher needed to knock that one forward, and indeed he did. Swan Dog with a pass back forward. It's going to be at least a little bit of a bobble, as the players from Xavier, they're not exactly keen on going hard commit into the counterattack. They're still staying in the back line, just anticipating that at least one of these players would go forward. Alex just sweeping on in, collecting it into wing. Here comes a massive opportunity. Brosif with a pass up. Double commit from Wichita State, but still ball in center. Mr. Gopher sends it forward. Brosif in a great spot. 20 seconds left. Mr. Gopher, no, he's playing around with it too much. No, that could be it. Ball center, but 15 seconds left. The ball is knocked out. Alex had his chance, but not going to be able to collect it. Still, oh no, the counterattack. Is anyone back? Swan Dog is, knocks it away. We're looking at overtime, and ball might hit the ground, and indeed it does. We have our first overtime of the night, as Wichita State, they're looking to get almost the upset lead on Xavier, but there's still a little bit of work to do, as the kickoff is the most tense time, and oh man, indeed it is. Xavier, I mean, it's through the pressure where diamonds are made, and Xavier, they come out big, shutting down the hopes of Wichita State in game 3. It's a 2-1 scoreline, with Satisfied Onion getting himself a brace.
Both teams went through immense pressure. Xavier hasn't scored a goal in over 10 minutes, and they did so twice in about a minute's time to get themselves the victory here. Beautiful opportunities on both sides of the ball. I would say that Xavier, yeah,
they're not looking like
I want
themselves.
Wichita State to win. You love the upset, right? No matter who you are, you gotta love a good underdog story. And Wichita State are giving us a good underdog story right now. Xavier are having a tough time up against this 2-6 team. Oh my goodness. What's going on here?
I mean, it's really just Wichita State again. I mentioned the key to their success, which is, again, shutting down these attacks before they even accumulate, but that's the issue with kickoffs, right? If you don't end up winning those out, and if you end up making it past really the 15-second to 20-second mark, things end up getting a little bit less spicy, because now, well, with the time gone by, everyone collecting their boost, and now that we're back into things, you have to really pay attention to really what Xavier wants to change in their own play style, and indeed, it's more cheese. Wow. Okay, Brosif with a demo. Wasn't allowed anything in the back end, though. Close opportunity, in just about 30 seconds in, Wichita State collecting on a whole lot of pressure, but it's their own chance now on the front end. Trying to get a pass in. Satisfied Onion, same thing with Alex, trying to take things out. Good backboard clear. Alex is there with the deflection. Could be a pass, but instead Satisfied Onion had to go for a little bit of a demo, just trying to drag it forward. Good shot from Alex, still no boost. Satisfied Onion, to Brosif. Brosif leaves it up in the bobble. Nobody's going to be there to collect it. So instead, now 4 minutes left, just about a minute in, we actually do have a game here for Xavier where they are feeling a little bit more confident.
Yeah, for sure. If you're Xavier here, you were talking about cheese and you were talking about spiciness. This entire series has been quite the roller coaster of scores and emotions here. If you're Xavier, you want to take those 2 pieces of bread and make a nice grilled cheese out of this series. You want to end it off right here in this game 4. You do not want Wichita State to bring this to game 5 with all of the momentum, considering how they played in games 2 and 3. You do not want to give them that chance.
See, no chances are had. Again, I'm just trying to pay attention to really what the mechanics are for the boys of Xavier and why exactly they might be falling a little bit flat, because we are seeing at least a couple of chances for the boys of Xavier that still at around that midfield. They haven't been able to develop. WSU will tend to shut that down a little bit early, but still in one of those chances, it's the underhanded tactic of the demo that we saw Xavier trying to pull out in Wichita State. They had to pull a rabbit out of the hat too. 2:45 left in the game, and you still have Xavier with a little bit of a chance. Satisfied Onion at an off angle, but he was looking for a pass, but that's just going to be a clear. Nobody on the rotation. Back again, Satisfied Onion going for an all or nothing pass, as really both players had to be ready for it. The communication had to be on point, and indeed it wasn't. Instead, it's going to be a clear back. In Wichita State, halfway through this game, they have a lead.
Wichita State, this is exactly what they want here, and they're going to take the series by the horns, I think. Xavier, they need a goal, they need it quick, because right now Wichita has that momentum. Yes, they lost in Game 3, but the fact that they kept up, the fact that they absolutely shut out Xavier for over 10 minutes is a telltale sign that they're doing something right. Wichita, they can win this. They can sniff the blood in the water. And all they need to do is to put it away. They need to win the 2 games here. 7 minutes of Rocket League. And if you're Xavier, you want to take that 7 minutes, cut off 5, and you want to end it off in Game 4. But is that going to happen? Broseph, let's see what he can do with this ball in his own zone.
Alex knocks it away. Oh, the deflection doesn't come in. Broseph, he's trying to heat up a little bit. That's what you like to see, at least. Going for something a little bit more spicy now that you're down a goal. Potentially just something to slip on by the defense to get your tempo rolling. Still nothing of the sort, though. 1:30 left in the game. It's going to be Swan Dog actually with a demo, but still Broseph on the front end alongside Alex. Alex had to fight that one up all by himself, as he was on the anchor forward. A singular tap. It's as easy as you can get, as Qui-Gon Jim, he misses out on the clear. Oh, again, the micro interactions is what ends up giving Xavier a goal back in this game. But Broseph, well timed, well placed, and he's fighting for it all by himself. Double stop for him, but still no goal converted for the squad. Oh boy, 1-1. It's yet another dramatic ending, but Xavier, they're looking to close off the set.
70 seconds left on the clock here. We got ourselves a tied game. It's not a tied series anymore. We want a tied series here. Wichita will need to win this one. It already feels like overtime, though. This entire series after Game 1. Game 1, we did say that it was going to be much tighter in the next few games. Game 1 was a complete dud in comparison. Oh my goodness, what a save by Gopher, keeping his team in the series here. That's a series saver, isn't it? Oh my
Surely
goodness.
so. I mean, there still is a little bit more time, but again, any interaction that you see Wichita State actually defend that ball, you could consider it a series saver. But in we go. Mr. Gopher, just about 20 seconds left, trying to knock it forward. Instead, you have Swan Dog with yet another opportunity, but still Satisfied Onion all over the place, just trying to collect. Good anchor from Broseph, still staying in net, just waiting for that ball to get forward. Alex trying to shut it down. Satisfied Onion taking his time, but the ball is knocked away. Swan Dog still trying to collect it forward, and it's yet another overtime. Games 3 and 4 going down to the wire, as now again Xavier looking to shut it down, but it's Wichita State on the offensive early on. Swan Dog with a pop, but nobody's gonna be there to collect it. Instead, Broseph on his lonesome. He's just delaying so much time, and it's actually a great pass. Broseph on the front end could get the deflection, but he's a little bit too deep into the back end, trying to boost steal, but still Alex, nothing for him. Swan Dog shuts it down. Pop forward. Alex could get it. Same thing was Satisfied, but it's shut down by Gopher. Oh boy, shot in again. Broseph, so pivotal for this team. So high tempo. But it's going to come down to the play-by-play, folks. In comes Satisfied Onion. Going to be able to bump it up forward. Has to get yet another one, or at least a little bit of help right behind him. Qui-Gon Jim knocks it forward. Same thing with Alex. It's like we're just playing volleyball. Just a couple of balls going back and forth, but no spike just yet. Still, A minute into overtime, no real opportunity yet, just a lot of development. Alex, nice little bump forward. That's a great pass. Qui-Gon Jinn has to battle this one back, but still throws it forward, shuts it down. Low boost on two of the players from the boys of Wichita State, but they still somehow boom it forward. Satisfied Onion up to Alex. Alex needs a pass, but no one's center. The rotation gets cut off. If I'm not mistaken, Satisfied Onion, he wanted to be a little bit more conservative and try to actually rotate back, but Broseph was already there. Broseph, no boost. Has to just bump it forward. It's a bobble. Going back right. Qui-Gon Jinn taking it into a Game 5 for Wichita State University. The Shockers never alleviating the shock off of Xavier. Oh, man.
Hey, that is a great goal. That's exactly what you like to see. We don't see many Game 5s here at EGF. And when we do, it's cause for celebration. Wichita State, they want to say that we've been unlucky all season long. We can fight. And they definitely deserve to be up there with the other teams that are in the playoffs right now. And it's so sad to see that right now their record is not significant compared to how they can actually play, right? It does not signify how they can actually play. I hope I'm saying that right. But honestly, Wichita State should be so much higher. They've just been so unlucky with who they play with, who they play up against. And Wichita State, they're showing us now. Yes, it is a tough schedule.
It's a tough schedule, and you can't really say anything other than that because, I mean, what are you going to do? I think later on in the season, they're going to have a couple easier games in a sense, but still, this Wichita State team facing up against the top 4 Xavier. They're tied for first. Xavier is one of the best teams in this league. I mean, that is not, I don't think I'm really spitting any hyperbole when I say that. Xavier has indeed placed themselves as one of the best teams in this league, one of the best in the Big East, definitely top 2 at least, but Wichita State, they're still putting in good work, and a massive opportunity on the front end early on almost shows that at least they still have the resilience. But again, clean sheet off the first couple of seconds. These players are at least stabilizing in a sense, but Mr. Gopher tries to take it up solo. Might actually be a detriment to the rotation, but he's back already. Things have stabilized. Big opportunity though. Swan Dog sending it forward. Or actually for the pass forward, but Mr. Gopher is there. Nice shot, but it hits off the crossbar. And instead, Xavier now with their own counterattack. In comes Alex. Mr. Gopher shuts it down. Mr. Gopher, he's on the front end. Still one in the back though. Xavier, they had the insurance policy in a minute in, and we're still seeing opportunity after opportunity for both of these teams. It's wonderful to watch.
It is indeed wonderful to watch. I have seen exactly through these last 3 games here why Wichita is winning. Yes, Wichita technically are not the better team on the field right now. They are missing more balls than their opponents, but they are not double committing. Xavier is absolutely double committing on saves, on offense, on defense. Whenever they're on offense, they only send one person up normally, and the second person is often very late. And so that is why so far Xavier have not been able to score so many goals because of plays like that where they're so close to going in, but they're just stopped because the second player was late on the play. Had he been there earlier, that would have gone in. And that's also put to the side, cleared away. And that's just how Wichita State have been winning this. They've been getting in the head. They've been making Xavier play sloppy. And it shows in plays like that where you'd expect Xavier to put that one away, execute on the play. Xavier are not there to execute.
Oh boy, but in we go. 2:40 left. We're already almost halfway through. Yeah, I guess you could say that, right? Xavier, they've been going for a lot of double commits. It doesn't seem like their communication is super on point. While Wichita, I mean, you're absolutely right in saying this. I mean, Xavier, they are individually skilled, individually, mechanically the better team. But it comes down to the communication. It comes down to maybe even the synergy. But in we go, as again, it has to be those individual plays to really win Xavier out this game. But that one is going to go wide. Looks like at least he ended up bailing out, just trying to get back in net. whoever was the one actually going for the aerial, but Broseph still fighting forward. That was a great opportunity, but still nothing off of backboard. That's just crunching time off the clock, but no! Swan Dog is here. Could have gotten the deflection in net, but instead it is going to allow Wichita State to at least stabilize on the front end. Qui-Gon Jinn knocking it forward. Ooh, a little bit of a bobble, but that's well placed. Good pass, but the shot's a little bit weak. A little bit flaccid even, but even then, a couple of players up in the corner. Broseph fighting it! How does Qui-Gon Jinn stay in that position in the backboard? Broseph had that one, at least in terms of a pass, maybe. But Satisfied Onion, he gets bumped up by his own teammate. That's actually going to be Broseph trying to collect back. Same thing with Alex, but he puts his entire body towards that ball, and he ends up getting discombobulated off position. Still Alex trying to fight it forward. Mr. Gopher, same thing. Broseph knocking it wing. Still a fight in the corner. It's going to be a 0-0 scoreline going into the last minute of game number 5. But Swan Dog solo double bounce, but no, backboard save. Qui-Gon Jinn trying to knock it forward. One player solo. Mr. Gopher somehow wins that one out. Good insurance policy in the back line. That's actually going to be Alex playing up on his lonesome on the defensive side. 45 seconds left. Alex sends it forward. Might hit backboard. Indeed it will. Pass. Nobody's there. Double coverage from Wichita State right in the middle of their own box. But instead, still, it's like these two teams are just knocking it back and forth. It's that same volleyball approach that I mentioned before. It's just knock after knock, just looking for the lucky play. But in we go. Qui-Gon Jinn trying to fight it up all by himself. It was already discombobulated by a singular pass. But there you go. 22 seconds left into the game. And that might just be the dagger. It's the consistent attack of Xavier that ended up breaking apart the rotation. And finally, we get a goal from Satisfied Onion, the man who pulled the brace to pull Xavier forward in game number 3 might have just gotten the golden goal for the squad. Now it's Wichita State University. 1 goal off. Xavier!
No!
With a dagger. Nail in the coffin. Alex gets another one, and that's going to be a 2-0 scoreline for Xavier in potentially now, more than certainly, a 3-2 win for the Musketeers. My, oh my, what a game.
My goodness, you were so close. Wichita State were 20 seconds away from bringing this to overtime up against Xavier. They deserve at least a point for this, but they're not going to get it. And this one is what I mean by one of the most unluckiest teams in the league. Oh my goodness. They played one of the best series I've ever seen when it comes to EGF, and it's all for naught. I feel so sorry for them. They're 2-7 for the entire season, and it comes off of games like this. There's so many times where they go into game 5, where they go into game 4, and they at least outplay their opponents once or twice, and every time they just can't clutch up, right? When they need to the most, they just can't finish. And I think that's the story of Wichita so far this season. Sadly, they can't finish. Xavier, take it. I thought this was going to go into overtime tied at 0-0. Deadlock.
Hey man, I mean, Xavier's still maintaining fairly consistent, but to this extent, it's going to be the X-Men, it's going to be the Musketeers pulling off yet another win here in EGF, maintaining themselves at the very top of the table at just about an 8-1 record. And again, Wichita State, I would not be surprised if we see them back in the next few weeks with yet another attempt at a potential upset. But that's actually going to be the end of our time here on the mic. My name is Upmind. You can follow me on Twitter at Upmind_. I am doing the VCT later on this week for you fans of Valorant. Gonna be working for Riot in just about, I think, 2 days at this point, over on Friday, so you can catch me on there. But Quantum Deathcat, it's been real, my friends. Congratulations on yet another shift, and I hope that you guys and the rest of the EGF crew have a lot of gigs this month, or at least for the rest of the split, because these games are actually pretty hype.
It is a very hype indeed. We have plenty of games, especially that 9 o'clock game, as we said. Poppy and Danger Taco are going to take it for you. My name is Quantum Deathcat. You can find me on YouTube and at RLPC, where I do some other casting for Rocket League. If you guys like an amateur league that you guys can join. Plenty of people have. There's over 4,000 to 5,000 players in said league. So, hey, if you guys want to join, that's up to you. But that's going to be it for me. That's going to be it for UpMind as well. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming around. We've got 3 more games for you here at the EGF Rocket League Twitch channel. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, everybody, to the last section of EGF Rocket League here for the collegiate scene. We have a next match coming up for you. It is St. John's University and Siena College. I am a new caster coming in. I am Danger Taco. However, I am still joined with a familiar face, a welcome face here on EGF. Quantum Deathcat, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. I was supposed to leave. Poppy was supposed to take my spot, but last minute he no-showed, and so I'm still here, ladies and gentlemen. You get to hear my horrendous voice some more.
No. Music to my ears.
Music to your ears? Thank you. Very nice of you. Let's go down to the action on the field here. As you said, St. John's versus Siena here. It's a best of 5 series. I don't know if you watched the last series between Wichita and Xavier, but it was quite the series. And I hope that we get the same kind of series here, because St. John's at the bottom of the tables and Siena not very far away.
No, not at all. And we're starting to see some nice fast-paced action right off the bat. But teams, when they're lower in the table, it's like you back an animal into the corner. They get scrappy. So that's exactly what I'm looking for in these games. Really got nothing to lose, and they really got to put the pedal to the metal. And Beanos is trying to do just that, as they're going to take that all the way across. But Justin's gonna send it all the way back. So we're starting to see a very classic game one. Both teams just trying to settle in, playing a lot more long ball. Not too much strategery busting out quite yet. And who needs it when you can just blast run from downtown?
And there you go. 6ix9ine gonna find the first goal there, as a beautiful goal from way downtown. And he gets a party for it. That is a beautiful goal for Siena. And on the other side is my favorite player from the league. It's Mecha Fusion. I actually talked about him about 2 hours ago, maybe closer to 3 hours ago, actually, now that I think about it. And yeah, we talked about MVPs for the league, right? The league as a whole. And St. John's haven't had too many ups, but when they have, it's all thanks to Mecha Fusion and the team around him. And it's so great to see that these guys, even though they've been struggling, right? They show up every week. They're here to try and prove everyone wrong that they do deserve to be here, and they've done a great job, I think.
Yeah, and it's certainly tough to play in a league like this with such a vast variety of teams, strategies to try to overcome and counter. And although they've struggled, it is nice to see them still in this game, and they could be even more than just in it. They could be back in it with a shot from Mecha, but it's not going to be fast enough. A great save by Beanos. And now 6 is going to slap that one back down, but going to be stopped again in the midfield. 2 minutes have gone in game number 1. Only 1 goal on the board, and it seems like both Siena College and St. John's, neither of them quite comfortable quite yet, but low-scoring affair so far.
2 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. The shot's on net. It's off the post. And that's going to be put into the corner here. 6ix9ine's going up to get it. He keeps it in the corner, but he's not going to be keeping that one for much longer. It's still in the offensive zone for Siena College. Finally cleared out by St. John's. It's put into the corner. The shot is not on net, but it's towards Mecha Fusion. The shot is too high, but the save by Crazy, who missed the ball but was in front of it, his entire car in the way, able to make the save. 2 minutes left on the clock. It's still 1-0. Make that 2-0. Crazy finds the second goal, and his team get another goal and a nicer lead.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Glazed Donuts in goal, tried to get across, just slapped into the back post instead, and then at that point, all you need to do is just put it on target, and that's something that Crazy can definitely have done, as they will put it in a second, but we still have 2 more minutes to go, and that's plenty of time to come back here. It's a nice pass to start things off, but will be cleared back down. Glazed Donuts will hold it up temporarily for St. John's, but will be stuffed. Mecha Fusion trying to get it going again. A nice ball in the middle. Justin with the power shot. It's going to go on target, and it's just not fast enough. These shots a little too ordinary so far for St. John's. It isn't really helping the cause here, as they're still searching for a way to break through. Now we're going to have one more try with Mecha Fusion, but Boost is their enemy, and they're going to have to give that one up.
I do like how both of these teams are playing this. Both of them are getting their opportunities, and I do like that. And they take them every time. It's Sienna just has been able to execute on 2 of them, and hey, that's great news for them. When you look earlier on, I was talking about the MVP of the season, right? We talked about the best player, not in the league specifically, right? Just the most valuable player in the league for their team specifically, right? It doesn't need to be the best team, right? For you, who would that be, though? Because there's so many players in the season so far that have been amazing, right? And I don't know if you've been looking too much at the EGF players other than the games you've been casting, but who would it be for you?
Well, it's a struggle because there's a lot of teams that rely on certain players as
Yes,
another shot comes to the near post. But St. John's will survive that time. But when it comes to me, I feel like the teams that really live or die by the one player, it feels like MVP in Rocket League feels like the hard carry. But I feel like there are several players that really fit that description. So it's really hard to really just dial one down. But so far, actually, in this game, we're starting to see kind of that same element, and Mecha Fusion seems to be, per your vote, kind of in the mix with a lot of them. I can't really say that I can name another player that I've seen kind of be in the play, although he's struggled to make the plays happen down the stretch, as Siena College will indeed be taking that game number 1. I like that he's constantly in the mix. I like that he's disrupting a lot of plays, and honestly, that's a very annoying player to play against. So I'd hop on board. I'll order his jersey right now if that's what it takes. But unfortunately, gonna have to see some results, and game 1 not going their way.
Game 1, you don't see any results because St. John's have a big fat donut next to their scoreline, and it's not because of Mecha Fusion. Honestly, we as was said, yes, he was in the mix, but he just couldn't get it done, and mostly he had no boost. A lot of the plays, his boost management just wasn't there. And that came back to bite him in this case. The team plays are great. We aren't seeing a lot of double commits from either team right now, which is very impressive. We don't normally say that about both of these teams. So it's great to see that they're trusting each other. They are playing each other as a team, and they're doing great plays off of that. It's a 2-0 game, and both teams playing like teams. It's beautiful. It's wonderful.
Yeah, but headed into game number 2, we're going to have to see what adjustments have to be made, because I think the true mark of a team is how you deal with adversity. And game 1s tend to be somewhat throwaways at times. You don't have a lot of predictive validity down the stretch, as in, does this actually mean anything for how we're going to play later on? It's insane how often in this game on the competitive level that you get games where you get beaten in game 1, and then it has nothing to do with how the rest of the series goes. So at least for St. John's, that's, I'm guessing, what they're going to have to hope for the rest of the series is we're going to kick off a refreshed lobby.
Now, after this series, right, we are having one of the series of the season, right? I don't know if you know or if you checked, but we're going to have Marist versus DePaul after this series, which should amount to one heck of a series. But the series before this one, Xavier versus Wichita State. If you guys did not see that series, it's a must-watch. As you said, Game 1 doesn't always tell the whole story. Game 1 was a 6-1 game, 6-1 win for Xavier, and then every other game afterwards, it was a 2-1 or a 1-0 game. And that was an incredible series. If you did not see it, watch the VOD after the DePaul and the DePaul series that were versus Marist series that we were going to have in 20 to 30 minutes-ish.
Gonna hope it's gonna be a little bit longer. You need some time to mount the comeback, as St. John's still kind of behind, but we got a roller going on the near post. Not quite gonna be in. Binos gets a nice clear, and time again, Siena College getting those critical saves, putting them to the side. It's not necessarily saving their bacon quite yet, as they're still dealing with a lot of balls in a dangerous area. Mecha Fusion just not able to get this one. Glazed Donuts, they'll glance it across the front, but that's going to be saved away again. And ultimately, this isn't resulting in lot of goal scoring opportunities, but it's definitely making Siena College sit on their tippy toes, waiting for that inevitable last push. But they're doing well to deal with it, and they're doing even better to get a dangerous shot on, but Glazed Donuts will save that one away. And 2 minutes in, still looking at a 0-0 scoreline here.
Yeah, we're sort of deadlocked, and both teams, I think, are pretty equal here. Both teams could definitely take it. It just depends. The mitigation of mistakes and the capitalization on said mistakes by the opposing team. So whenever you make a mistake, you want it to be as small of a mistake as possible, right? You don't want to be giving balls away. You don't want to be giving open nets. And that's a great play there by St. John's to keep that pressure alive on the offense. 6ix9ine is going to put it into the corner here and get the ball cleared out, which is exactly what you like to see if you're a fan of Siena College. Both of these teams could take the W here, and it's the tight series that we both expected, I think.
Plays Donuts with one of the better opportunities, but again, Binos time and time again, man with the boost and the man with the save to get it out of the dangerous area. But this is a lot more confident St. John's. They're dealing with a lot more offensive pressure, and they're using it fairly well. The problem is just doesn't seem like there's that last person quite close enough when they really need it. But at the end of the day, if they're playing good enough defense, I guess you don't really need a swath of goals. You really only need one, but you got to make sure the defense stands tight as well. Binos, man, that has been the defensive hero, was almost the offensive one, but will be denied as Justin into the corner. Will bounce near the goal. He's chasing it still. It's a bounce out to Mecca, but that'll get hit across. And now on the counterattack, Siena will have a corner hit, and that won't amount to much, but both teams are really getting really scrappy. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of calm touches in this game. It seems like there's a lot of last-second reactions that are really spelling out the series so far.
Yeah, it's a lot of sight reading. I don't know if I can say it that way, but like, it's not really set up plays. You know, it's, oh, the ball is in this position. We're all in these positions, right? Let's do this, because that's just what positions they're in, right? That's kind of like a poker hand that they've been given, and they need to do something with it no matter how bad the hand is, right? They're going to try and do something with it, even if it's a 7-2 goose egg. Look at that. That's a great play there by Binos to bump the last man in the net, but it doesn't amount to a goal. And, well, even if it doesn't amount to a win, they're still going to try. That's a good clear. That's a good pass down, but Mecha Fusion can't do anything from the pass. From just in time, 6ix9ine puts it in. What an aerial goal by him. Just in time, passes it down. This interception, the solo play up in the air. What a goal.
Who needs teammates when you can just dunk the last defender and put it in on the open net? Still a lot to do after that first dunk is you have to get that down and on target, and they get it down just enough right in that top shelf, top left corner. And if you're going to get scored on, it's always nice to have it in the beginning of the game, and not with 30 seconds left. St. John's University now finding themselves in the familiar position of being down, but this time definitely on a time crunch, but still enough time to do something with it. Mecha Fusion into the middle. It's just a sitter. Glazed Donut deprived of a goal. Binos, who else will get that one away? Past the middle. It's Mecha. It's top shelf with 4 to go. That's the equalizer.
They go all out on the offense, and look at the double commit. We talked about there being no double commits. Binos in no man's land. He's not moving in the net. He's not giving the shot any respect. And it goes bar down and in. We're tied at 1, and we're possibly going to see overtime if this ball hits the floor.
I was thinking we were about to see something heroic attempted as Mecha Fusion was trying to get a catch, but instead they're just trying to tap it down, get that overtime, and see how the chips fall. And right now, at least the ball is falling on the Siena College half. They struggle to deal with it. Justin just going to slap that one across. No danger there, but definitely Siena. Wonder if they're a little bit rattled there. They played some good defense, and then in the final seconds they give it away. It's got to hurt the morale, but still got all of this overtime to figure out what to do. Is everyone spaced out very, very far from the ball as Glazed Donuts had an uncontested touch there in the midfield, but now we're starting to see a little bit of ping pong here. Glazed Donuts gets a nice beat over. Justin in the corner. It pops out. No one there for blue. Mecha Fusion's going to try to just keep it alive, but they don't really have much support here. Glazed Donuts, another one into the middle, but Vinos gets a nice hit. And with that deflection, Justin's going to have something on his hands here.
This is so beautiful from St. John's. Oh my goodness, that's bar down, and it doesn't go in right away. Crazy, he's gonna put it away just in time, getting the weak touch right onto the hood there of 6ix9ine, and Crazy's gonna put it away. He scored 3 of the 4 goals here for his team. Siena College, oh my goodness, St. John's, they went 10 minutes without scoring a goal. They scored in that last second there before overtime hit, and so heroics for them, but it doesn't pay dividends.
Yeah, and sometimes it's nice to see that those teams are still looking for passes, because that wasn't just a random deflection. That was a very purposeful touch put across the box, and it caught that little bit of defensive mishaps. So it still was a lot to do, but it was a good finish being put in by St. John's. But yes, Siena College still just showing that really predator mindset of hitting the balls on target and following them really well. Like that first shot at midfield to end that game, that was not in. It was bar, and it might have been going in on its own, but Krasny crashes the goal, just trying to create some chaos, trying to just get any deflection, put it in, and they did. So right now, Siena College, maybe just with a little bit more of a killer instinct there, getting on these balls. And St. John's, now backs against the wall, have to turn this one around, reverse sweep a team that has now beaten them twice in a row, and it's going to take a lot more than what they've given so far. But game 2, definitely encouraging sign for them.
Very encouraging indeed. But listen, St. John's, they're still down in the series. They need something more. They definitely need to score more than 1 goal a game here. Yes, this series has been tight. The games have been tight, but they need to start bright and early. 13 seconds in, and they do exactly that. Primal is gonna find the pop-up pass from Mecha Fusion, and that's as easy as you like.
And Primal getting the goal, player that St. John's lets us know they're going to be subbing in. What a way to make your entrance. 13 seconds and you get a goal. But unfortunately, the team can't keep it out on the kickoff. 1-1 within 15 seconds, and 6ix9ine's not going to have an easier goal than that.
When you get your first lead of the series after 10 minutes of gameplay, and it only lasts 2 seconds. You can't see my face, but slightly disappointed. Oh my goodness, back to square one. And square one is not Primal and Mecha Fusion hitting each other in the center field, leaving just in time alone. That is not what you want as a step 1 if you're St. John's. You need a goal quickly once again here. Yes, you got the ball rolling, but you need to continue here. You can't let this turn into a deadlock and have it go on for many, many minutes. That almost went in, but 6ix9ine, what a save there.
And I do like the idea there from Justin, just to get up cleanly. You don't need a perfect shot, but you just need it on target. Fortunately, you need a little bit more perfect of a shot, as that one was saved away by 6ix9ine. Good reactions, but they're not out of the woods yet, as Siena College is struggling to get out of their half. They're going to have a roller to the corner. Primal taking it out, gets a bump, but they don't have the follow. Vinos in the middle. Mecha Fusion will deflect that one. All of Siena spread out as Justin will take it off the sidewall. You got Primal lurking in the middle. He's there for the pass, but not for the shot. No contact, just over chasing it a little bit, and the adjustments just not enough. So now 6ix9ine trying to chase this one down, but Siena's not going to get any sort of touch on this ball. It's just going to have to go all the way down to midfield first. And so far, St. John's looking nice. The substitution working for him. Good infield passes throughout, but tied game is still very much looking like we have almost like a game 2 vibe here, where we might get some nice opportunities, but most of this game might be spent scoreless if it continues like this.
Yeah, and if both teams, especially when they get plays going, right? That pass from just in time to Primal, who was just too late. Oh my goodness, that could have been an amazing goal, but hey, we're still. It feels like they're scoreless because of how early they scored. Oh, how long ago those goals were? They were 2 minutes ago, but hey, they got themselves the ball rolling, as I said a lot earlier, and they're finding themselves a lot more offense. They're finding shots on the net, and if they can find a quantity of quality shots, I'm 100% certain they can take game 3 here and start the reverse sweep process.
It doesn't help that Sienna just busts out with a double commit, and they can't get back. Mecha Fusion puts in a second, and that's what shows just a small mistake like that can be immediately punished.
Yeah, Mecha Fusion finding that shot, the save, bar down and in anyway. And St. John's have a lead once again. Will it last more than 2 seconds this time? Let's find out. Kickoff is good for them, and they'll keep it for a few seconds longer than last. And that's all you could hope for if you're St. John's.
But for Sienna, you'd hope for a better clear. That one's off the bar, off the post, and saved out. What a last-second heroic save there from Sienna College. And come down the other way, they might get rewarded crazy. And 6-9 almost combining for something off the wall. But instead, that one's going to go all the way down. Primal getting some results here for his squad. And Mecha Fusion and Justin are very happy to see it, but they got to protect this lead. Still just under 2 minutes to go here as Primal and Mecha Fusion gonna combine for this one, but it's gonna go past the far post instead. And St. John's, this is the most confident I've seen him. Let's see if it can keep up.
Let's see if they can keep up indeed. That amazing save by Beanos about 20 seconds ago. I know we don't have replays to show you guys, but oh my goodness. It was actually a team bump that puts him on the post there and allows him to make that save, which is quite fortunate and unfortunate at the same time. Oh my goodness, and here we go. They still got themselves the 1-goal lead. How long will it last, though? It's lasted quite a bit so far. The opportunities for Sienna are far and few in between ever since the second goal for St. John's here. Can St. John's put in another one? Maybe. It's tantalizingly close. It's on the goal line. Mecha Fusion puts it in. It's his second goal. There you go. Oh my goodness. Primal almost in the clutch, but Mecha Fusion making a 3-1 game.
And I'm a huge fan of that rotation from Primal. Very aggressive, cuts the third man, but is able to put it into a dangerous position and doesn't screw over that last player coming up. And Mecha Fusion, in fact, very much set up for that third goal. All they have to do is just put it past that hapless last defender. And now the 2-goal lead. This is a decent amount of security that they do have for taking this game number 3. However, I don't think Sienna is going to go down without a fight at 6-9. Is just going to throw that one high up above. Vinos try to keep it interesting. Instead, XCon into the corner. No touch. 6-9 gets a deflection, but all of this is doing is just burning time off the clock. And Primal coming in this game, seemingly making quite the difference here, getting a goal and an assist to help lead St. John's down this path. And right now, Sienna looking a little shook, and they're going to have to work a little bit harder. No sweep in the cards for them. St. John's takes game 3.
Yeah, this shouldn't have been a sweep. With how close the series was, St. John's was bound to win a game, and they do exactly that. They win one game here. It's 2-1 series lead for Sienna. St. John's coming in. They do what they need to do. They need to continue doing what they need to do.
And doubling the shots that from Sienna College in that last game, 10-5. That's definitely a huge. I don't like to use the caster's favorite word, but the momentum shift there as we start to see St. John's really come into it and get a lot more pressure. But at the end of the day, it was a 2-goal margin, even though they had twice the shot. So a lot of it is based around pressure, just getting a lot of touches that force the defense into action versus actual considerable gains in your lead. So if the finishing increases for St. John's, then Sienna's going to have quite a handful down the stretch of this series because they're going to have to basically batten down the hatches and really strap on the defensive-minded helmet to think about how we're going to stop these guys. Because if the rest of the series, just like that game number 3, I don't really know what's in store for the rest of this one.
I don't know either, and listen, ever since Glazed Donuts was subbed out, right, and I mean, Primal came in, he did very, very well. I do like Glazed Donuts' game, but oh my goodness, it's night and day. I'm sorry, Glazed, that you played well, but they just needed that extra little kick. And so far, Primal has been that extra little kick, and it was beautiful.
So headed into game number 4, we're looking to see if we can force a game number 5, or rather if St. John's can. And they're going to start with a little bit of hampered each other, a little elbows in the side midfield as Just in Time was just not leaving the ball alone. And now on the slow play, though, Beanos is going to get a great pass as 6ix9ine messing with the minds. That last defender will get one to go.
Yeah, 6ix9ine getting it over to Beanos, and Beanos finding it. That's beautiful. Mecha Fusion can't make the stop. And would you look at that? We got Ive McFallen over with these guys now. Let's see what he can do over here with this Sienna team. So far, Sienna just need that extra little kick, just like St. John's needed, right? St. John's absolutely needed that little kick. They needed that extra little momentum push. Let's see if Ive can give that to Sienna here. 6ix9ine, he's got that. Oh my God. Yeah, go ahead.
No, just Comedy Justin just barely getting that little nick over. And now they're actually defend another long ball. So St. John's creeping up a decent amount on a lot of these touches. And it seems like the optimal strategy now for Sienna is just try to chip it over. But Primal tries to take it on the last defender. They don't have that boost to make that final touch go. And 6ix9ine just hitting the weight room. He's just 50ing absolutely everybody right now. And it's working out for them. However, you will have to get one final clear to the side to help dissipate a little bit of the pressure. But one goal game still in it, and it can change at any point. Primal, how about right now?
Yeah, Primal coming in the clutch here just in time. Finding the back wall. It doesn't find 6ix9ine, and Beanos gets bonked. And there you go. It's a tied at 1 game. And this is the first time that there's been a goal like a minute separate, right? Normally the goals, when they do come in, they're hot, and they come in a lot of them, right? There's a lot of goals that come in one after the other, and when there aren't any goals, there aren't goals for a long time. So having a goal 1 minute after the other one was scored really breaks that rule of thumb.
Yeah, so we're starting to see a little bit more spacing, so it shows the defense is definitely very much more comfortable, it seems, in giving those up. Because the worst thing you can do is let that tilt take over, get frustrated about something that happens, then you just don't focus up, and that's almost, honestly, I feel like a lot of goals off kickoff happen. But right now, seems like St. John's dealing with it super well, as they're getting a decent amount of deflections, and now the high lob, just in time, has a lot of time to throw it downfield. Mecha Fusion trying to get it to go. Primal, they're set up again. What a save by Beanos, practically on the pre-jump, and that one's gonna keep it level. Another pass coming in. Mecha's just gonna keep it interesting, but not necessarily dangerous, and Primal's gonna have to clean up another one. St. John's University putting in a super sub, and right ever since that point, they have been putting in a lot of pressure, but unfortunately they need defense too, and that save will buy him a little bit more. 6ix9ine to the back post, and a fantastic save. Still 1-1.
Still tied at 1, as you say here. We're on the sidewall in Sienna's zone, and they don't know where to place themselves at this point, and that one gets past the last defender, but no one on St. John's side. When I said earlier that it seems like they're sight reading plays, right? Like, they're not actually setting up plays. That's what I mean, is that, that's a good goal from Sienna, though, but that should have been a punish by St. John's. There was no one in the net. There was no one pressuring them, but they just weren't in position. And because of that, Sienna are able to take the ball into the offensive zone, and no one's there to stop them.
That's an unfortunate angle for the 50. They were trying to take a ball to stop it in place, but the problem is you're on the outside of a player coming inside. It's just going to 50 right in the inside, and last defender a little too close to stop that one. So now it's a 3-on-1. No one go for a bump, surprisingly, on Mecha Fusion. They'll be able to deal with that one. Primal with the tap takes it away from a teammate. Maybe a little bit too frantic here to the side of St. John's, as they need to call each other off on this, but only have 80 seconds to be able to get one more to extend this series, so I understand the pressure on their shoulders. And out the pass, Primal throws to Mecha, but that's a giveaway. 6ix9ine has a lot of time on this air dribble. They're not gonna do anything with it, though. A massive deflection down to Primal in the near post. Beanos out to Mecha. Mecha keeps it dangerous again. The rotation swirling back in. Can they make anything go? 6ix9ine will get another clear, though, and that's gonna buy him a lot more time as Primal just tries to adjust.
45 seconds on the clock here. Sienna still with the 2-1 lead after the punishing goal on St. John's. I don't think they've been playing tilted at all. They're playing quite strong indeed, but they need to find the team plays. And that's the important part, is that they need to find each other, not just on the field, but in the comms. And that's one way of doing it, but the shot's not on net. Just in time, tries to come back, just a little too late. Mecha Fusion puts it back in, and it's cleared out. Oh no, they're running out of time. Can they find a goal? They're gonna need 10 seconds or less. Can they do it? Last opportunity now if they can get the ball cleared out of the zone. They won't! Ive McFullen! Well, putting the dagger in the hearts of St. John's.
And they've had their opportunities, but sometimes the clear's just going a little bit too long. The ball's going a little bit too predictably, and unfortunately for them, it does seem like Siena College, unless this ball goes in with any time remaining, will be taking this series. A little bit of some heart palpitations going through them at some points of this series, but they will indeed take it. Siena 3-1 over St. John's, but a nice fight put up by the boys in blue, giving us a nice entertaining series, but at the end of the day, just a little bit too much firepower on Siena with, admittedly, if I did MVP for the series, Beanos on Siena, I cannot count the number of times that they had those goal line saves on some absolute bangers from St. John's. Like, my goodness.
Speaking of Beanos, he said F in chat before the game was even finished. And so a little bit of BM, but hey, we've seen plenty of BM today. We saw, oh my goodness, the first series of tonight was RIT absolutely styling on Niagara. Then it was the University of North Dakota. The record before, I think it was Canisius that held the record above Manhattan. 13-1 was the score, right? That's absolutely incredible to think about. Game 3 finished 19-1. And it was exasperating, you know, like a large amount of exasperation in that series. Thankfully, we cleaned our palates with Wichita State and Xavier, and this series as well was definitely a palate cleaner. This was definitely a must-watch series. Yes, the players were much lower grade than what we saw in the Wichita versus Xavier game, but oh my goodness, the amount of tense Rocket League was just as high.
Certainly so. And fortunately for everyone here, though, we're seeing some nice games down the stretch, and hopefully we'll bring you one more, as we're going to have to throw you guys to a break, but we will be back with DePaul and Marist for our final series of the day here on EGF Rocket League. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. And welcome back, everybody, to our last series of the night here on EGF Rocket League. I'm still Daniel Taco. That is still Quantum Deathcat on my side. I actually gestured to a side of the camera. I'm not sure if he's actually over there. Maybe this side as well. Just cover my base.
I'm on this side, definitely.
Okay, good to hear. Good to hear. So, DePaul University and Marist College will be our last matchup here. And Quantum, I'm excited. This last series was a little bit close, and I'm hoping we'll see the same for this series.
Yeah, that is the case here. DePaul, though, up against Marist, both of them are top teams. And so, just like St. John's and oh my goodness, St. John's and Siena, right? Both lowly teams. We're expecting a two top teams here. But last week, Marist got their butts handed to them. They got swept by the University of Colorado. Can they bounce back? And that's the important question here, because you're up against DePaul, right? DePaul is a pretty good team. I'd say DePaul's a pretty solid team. I don't know if you'd agree with that, but I think they're a pretty solid team. And Marist, coming off of being swept here, I think they're out for blood.
Yeah, and it's certainly this is a game to make a statement here. Or rather, not St. Paul, but DePaul, the Paul.
DePaul.
The Paul. It's DePaul. DePaul, are definitely top half of the table overall, but they're top 4 within the Big East. So definitely something that Marist is going to have to watch out for. But it's always so brutal to have to come off of a week where you really struggled to get anything going. So headed into this one, very curious to see what's really going to go down to finish off the night with a flourish. And hopefully Shikuki is going to start something right off the bat, but Cypher says no, close the book on the first flick.
Yeah, we got game one here between DePaul and Marist for game number one here. Yes, the French accent coming out, as it always does. Finally, we get to see Tone on the broadcast. He loves being in the chat and memeing with us, watching the games, watching his compatriots play, and then show us that he is by far and away one of the best players in the league. And let's be honest, it's thanks to him that Marist are definitely a top team. And that is a big sigh of relief for them, right? Having a player like Tone on their side is definitely a big hand.
Yeah, and almost getting something to go right off the bat there, but minute has come and almost gone here, and we're looking at an even game as DePaul will send another one deep down there. Tone's going to have to bail him out. Weird deflection, but they will get a double on the side wall. Shikuki is trying to just gather this one. They're just taking a lot of spirals here. I guess it's working out, though. It's setting up something for Lavish here off the backboard. No one touches that one. Jocko can't get that one. And another one will be cleared out by Maris, but definitely a very close one there for Maris, not defending the backboard as well as they probably should have.
Yeah, we're seeing a bit of a, how can I say it, a bit of a lackluster game here from Maris so far. No blood for the Blood God for sure. I thought they'd come out guns blazing. I said blunts. Oh my goodness. Guns and blaze at the same time. And yeah, no, that's not what we've seen so far. Cypher, you had a wide open net! He slows down the ball and lets Lavish make the save there. Oh no. That's a blooper reel right there. That's definitely going into that blooper reel. Oh my goodness, DePaul coming off so lucky.
But they're not going to be so lucky on this one. Maris is just going to slap one right down to the throats of their defense because, unfortunately, not the best touch by Shikuki. They almost had it, but actually caught a little bit of a bump there from Tones on his way out of the goal. And unfortunately now, right before halftime, we're going to be seeing Maris in the lead here. And DePaul, they've had some decent opportunities here, but I'd have to say, if I'm giving a little bit of an edge to a squad so far, I feel as though Maris getting a little bit more dangerous on their opportunities. They're picking their chances, and really, it seems like the backboard is really DePaul's best friend on some of these advances, because outside of that, I haven't seen too much from them offensively, albeit from the occasional pass like we just saw there. But that demo certainly going to help things. Shikuki, they're going to be denied. Lavish on the follow. That's going to be saved. Jocko, number 3, is not the charm. And that one will be cleared away. Tone's putting it even deeper down. What a stand by Marist College. But, oh my goodness, what a frustrating play from DePaul.
Oh my goodness, 3 opportunities, 3 different players making a save. And that's another one. Condor starting it off once again. He started off the chain of saves. He tried to set off a team play there in the offensive zone, missed by Toad. And we've got so many opportunities both ways. The quality of Rocket League that we're watching is definitely high and lavish indeed.
And that's a great follow by Shikuki. It's one of those irritating balls for defender. It's a mishit, I would argue, on the first one, which baits in the defender, and then an immediate strike right past him on the pass. Doesn't have to be on target if it's just in a dangerous position, and that last player coming up on offense will make it so. But I can't really say this game is going to be very easily predicted down the stretch. Both teams getting opportunities, although DePaul definitely waking up, getting a lot more some dangerous balls getting put down here as Jocko goes for the redirect and puts one in. What a strike.
What? Is that even possible? Jocko going up here. The redirect of a lifetime. Actually, probably does this in training every other day. But still, every other day, you know, that's not something you exactly practice for. That's just something you go up on a whim for and say, you know what, I'm doing it and I'm gonna get it. That's a high confidence play, and that's definitely a confidence booster, not just for him, but for the team as a whole.
That's why I do a custom training, kids. Get you used to some unusual angles, as this time he's not gonna go for the redirect, he'll go for the pass. Nothing cooking there. Shikuki off the backboard. Jocko gets a decent hit. They'll stay with it and win it as well. The boost game playing out strong here for DePaul. Is Lavish will send another one across. Jocko just confidently pre-jumps that one. But now we'll see potentially a counterattack as Tones off the near post. Cypher's there. It's off the backboard. Quandor, can they get a touch? They will. It'll keep it dangerous, but not necessarily in the middle. Another ball across the middle, and Tones will just have to send that off the back post. Nothing doing. Still holding on to that lead is DePaul, but right now it's definitely a precarious hold on this one lead.
Yeah, it's a very fine margin for both teams. Both of them could have found the back of the net, and oh my goodness, it's just so tight because both teams aren't exactly executing or capitalizing when they find a mistake. And there's been so many mistakes. There's been no mitigation of those. And so both teams have had so many opportunities. Good save by Tone. But I think it's too little too late. This ball, if your DPU needs to hit the floor, it does. DePaul wins game 1 here. And that's how you want to start a best of 5 if you're DePaul.
Yeah, and a lot of shots coming in, 9-5 coming in favor of DePaul, and they will take that lead. But really good offense from both teams, putting in a lot of pressure. But DePaul, they're kind of just throwing caution to the wind at times, and I think that's something that I'm predicting Marist is going to start punishing them for down the stretch. But so far, DePaul, when they have boost, when they're near the ball, they have no qualms about just turning forward immediately, slapping it into the ceiling, hitting it off the backboard as hard as possible. And it works for them so far. And until Marist can actually manage that pressure, I think we might start seeing game 1 become a little bit of the norm. But heading into game number 2, they have plenty of time in this series and obviously in the next 5 to prove me wrong.
Yeah, exactly. You did say that they're throwing caution to the wind a lot. I'd say they have the speed of a Trackmania player more than a Rocket League player, right? They're going full speed. They're not exactly taking the time here to really set up properly. They're just throwing those balls to the wall and getting the shots on, right? And that's it. It's not exactly what you need. But when the game gets as scruffy as that first game was, it's definitely necessary. But this game 2 for DePaul, it needs to be a lot cleaner, I think.
Yeah, and now Jocko's actually taking their time across the goal. Tones was just licking their chops there, waiting for that pass across, but fortunately for this DePaul side, nothing doing on it. Jocko is well up on this, but will be hit to the corner. Lavish trying to follow it up. It's addition to Jocko. Can they get it past the last defender? They won't. Ball up. Shikuki going from the third man again, just throwing everybody forward, trying to get this pressure and keep it. And so far, it's looking a little bit in the favor of DePaul, but they haven't been able to break through quite yet. About 90 seconds gone, and Zabal's going to get one shot going, but will be saved to the side. So Marist's going to have to go back to the drawing board as player gets demoed, ball gets deflected, and they'll have to take it back to their own half.
And Z-Ball is going to come in here as the sub. Who does he sub out? I do not see who he has subbed out, but he has subbed out someone. Can you see? Since you are inside of the game, after all, you can see if there's anyone lurking on the side. Who has he subbed out? Because I don't remember seeing him in game.
I do not see the roster in front of me, but so far he's making a decent number of touches, though. Sometimes a player comes in, you can really recognize kind of the gap that they're trying to fill as compared to the player that was in before. But so far they're getting some good touches, and Cypher and Tone's just going to have to adjust across that as they're getting some interesting deflections here as well and putting it into dangerous positions. As Jocko, good game awareness, understanding they were quite alone on that one. They could just bring it across their goal with no pressure. And right now we're in a little bit of a lull of the game here as Shikuki tries to gather it but just can't get around it. A great save coming in from Z-Ball, and on the counter they might get more to go with it. They will not be able to chase it down. Tones is gonna have to half rotate on this one, and now Z-Ball try number 2 off the bar, and Tones and Cypher just too far apart. They're just gonna have to hit it to the sideline for now, but DePaul really got away with it there.
Definitely, we're somehow still at a deadlock here, ladies and gentlemen. 2 minutes and 5 seconds left on the clock. It feels like it should be like 5-5 at this point, doesn't it?
Definitely, there's been no shortage of shots, but hilariously, only 2 actual shots recorded by the game. So definitely a lot of things near the goal. I feel like this is a game where very much so there's been few shots, but a lot of pressure around the goal, which feels like there should be a lot. But so far, these teams really struggling to put something dangerous on target, and that's really the issue, especially with these large gaps in midfield, as Jocko and Cypher are going to have to take a 50 on this one, but maybe that shot differential change now. Lavish, they get a great air dribble, but Zabal gets an even better challenge in the air, and ball's going to go right back to midfield, and now we're starting to see a little ping pong back and forth.
Yeah, Tone, he's been playing pretty decently so far, but he's gotten himself in a situation, right? Because at this point, your teammates are all over the place, your opponents are all over the place, and yet somehow no one can find a goal. This is the opposite of what should be happening, right? Normally when you have a team that's so discombobulated that pressure is just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, normally the score line is 5-5, 6-6, right? You have an insane amount of goals for both teams. This isn't the case for in this game, which is absolutely amazing to me. Tony's gonna find the first one here as he blinds us all with the flashbang. 37 seconds left in the game. Oh my goodness, that's just one miss by Shakuki there, and that's all Tone needed.
And Tone's understanding intelligently that that ball going off the sidewall, not ideal for the defense. They don't rotate back. They don't go up for it immediately. They just wait to see how the defense is going to react. And fortunately for them, as they predicted, no touch coming in, and they can just put one in on the open net. And so 1 goal lead with 30 seconds to go. They're just going to go for the flip reset, try to burn some time down the clock. But they don't need another goal, but they do need to hold on to the one that they did just get, as a bump attempt goes in, Lavish to the back post, but a good save coming through. Cypher with a flick. It's just going to go straight into that last defender as a ball. Can't add another one. Lavish is just going to tap that one down. In final seconds, they need to keep it up. Can they do something with this? Lavish into the middle. Jocko, they're there, but Z-Ball and Cypher, the combo to send it all the way down to the corner. Jocko's trying to keep it up, but no way they can keep this one. Shakuki can't reach it, and Marist is going to take it to tie this series up.
DPU trying to keep that ball up in the air. That was intense, but it's a 1-0 game in favor of Marist. And that is how that one crumbles. I did say earlier on, in the first game of tonight, right, at 5 p.m. EST, I did say that this was the series to watch, and no wonder why. Listen, both of these teams are so tight, and yet they're playing unconventional Rocket League.
Yeah, it's the pressure I was speaking about to Paul, where they're just throwing everything forward. It seemed like they reeled back a little bit, maybe sensing that they were getting a little bit too haphazard on some of these movements. But from Marist, it's really just patience. They were just taking their time. They weren't rushing anything. They weren't cutting those rotations back. They were making sure that everything was fine, making sure that everything was clean, moving around the ball well, and it paid off for them. Although it was a little bit of a nail biter at the end, I think it's a strategy that could work, because DePaul is looking incredibly confident on offense, but it's just the execution that was lacking so far, outside of some fantastic saves from Maris. But at this point, you just got to execute defensively, as this backboard is undefended. Kind of the stuff I'm talking about, but this time DePaul doesn't punish it.
DePaul doesn't punish it at all. That's a demo coming in on Cypher there from Jocko, and that's going to stop the offense here, because there's no one that was there. Cypher is able to come back. All he gets is 1 hit, and he gets another one on his way out. Jocko is all up sideways, and because of that, he's not in position for this ball. That is very well played, and now he's back in position. And I do like the bumps and demos like that allow people to get out of rotation and absolutely mess up a team's chemistry in a rotation. And it takes quite a while for it to come back and to make sense again, right? It can take 5 seconds. Sometimes it can even take 20 seconds for a proper rotation to reintroduce itself. And so both of these teams need to absolutely start doing that. We see how discombobulated both teams are. I think the demos need to come out more here. Oh my goodness, the double tap attempt. That was almost sick. And Cypher, that should be in. It is. It's barred out and in. I would have been so hard pressed if that's not in. If that's not a goal, the net is unattended. Full boost. Bar down. What a goal.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate one. Jocko trying to get back, and I think they'd be fine if they just caught it or tried to lay it down. But Cypher, I think they're just turned around just to get boost when Jocko is not aware of the looming threat there on the sideline, giving it away. It seems like a very plain giveaway, but I almost feel as though Jocko was completely surprised to see him there, and especially brutal to have that somewhat innocent touch in the midfield turn it into a bar down opening goal here. But Lavish trying everything possible to try to get them back in here with a interesting double tap, but will be turned away in Tones with a lot of time to deal with here. They're going to get closed down just in time by Lavish, but a lot of open space here in the midfield, and it's opening up a lot of interesting defensive rotations as no one is in goal, but Jocko, unperturbed there, will be able to get that clear, and now they'll try to advance it down the sideline on the far side.
2 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. It's 1-0 for Marist, but it feels like a deadlock, doesn't it? It just feels like neither team will move or budge on their position. And it's been like that since early game one. Both teams have position, and both teams are not willing to give anything on these, right? Like, both teams are not giving an inch to each other, and whenever they do, the other team definitely takes the mile, but sometimes it just feels like they should be scoring more, right? Both sides feels like it should be scoring more. And so maybe that's why both teams are playing a little bit more tilted. I don't know if I could say it that way, but is it me, or does it feel like both of these teams are playing a little bit tilted?
I'm in the same boat with you, because I don't also want to say tilted. I would maybe say frustrated that these teams have a lot of things that they're trying to work out, and it's not quite going in. I don't think it hits the point of tilt, but it's definitely just something that kind of makes you growl a little bit every time the ball gets turned away, because they're getting close opportunities, but none of them are really being taken, and a lot of fantastic saves coming in down the stretch here as everything they're trying is just getting turned away. And right now, DePaul still down by 1. They have no shortage of opportunities, and they're putting the ball in dangerous positions, but again, it's frustrating to not get it be rewarded. Jocko with an open shot, tough angle, and that shows wide, no contact. Another one into Shot Cookie, but too close to the defenders. That's going to get cleared away. Jocko, let's see, number 3, bounce shot under the defender, and finally DePaul will get something out of their 6 shots.
DePaul haven't scored in about 10 minutes. There you go. They needed that one. Oh my goodness, they needed that one so bad. 76 seconds left on the clock here, ladies and gentlemen. We got ourselves a game 3. Who's going to go out on top here? Because the next goal is absolutely the most important of the series so far.
Oh
my God.
Jocko.
No.
First touch, just not aware where the defender is, and on that one, I just don't think they were aware of just how fast that ball's going to go. Trying to tap it into the corner, but fortunately, all they're going to do is just roll one in for Maris. So, of all the ways to fall apart here, it's one thing to be frustrated. I'm going to say that's going to be some tilt right there.
We're going to see some tilt right here, ladies and gentlemen. And it must be, oh my goodness, that must be the tilt coming in. Jocko saying, no, we're not losing the series like this. We're not going to go down. That is an amazing shot from the sidewall. I said that the next goal would be important. Well, 16 seconds later, there were 2 goals already. So I guess I'll eat my own words.
I cut myself off there. I'm just so shocked. They just get the lead. There's 60 seconds remaining, and Z-Ball just goes off the ceiling for a ball that they had no business going off the ceiling for. I think he was trying to prevent an air dribble or something, but they just threw themselves the ceiling, and then just a casual ball just floats right in. So very unusual decision-making down the stretch from Marist, but 2-2 is the scoreline, and they're just going to have to deal with that one. And hopefully they don't learn to regret throwing away that lead, as Shakuki's going to try to take a crazy redirect off of the crossbar. Can't get much closer. That would have been highlight reel for sure, but my goodness, DePaul not out of it yet, though. Getting that goal and re-energized here, going for some fancy mechanical plays, and they will be frustrated one more time, and they're going to have to defend one more time with 7 seconds on the clock here, still in the corner, but they haven't got it out yet. Cypher, no touch. The ball just barely short of the keeping that one up, and we will be seeing it in overtime.
Overtime for game number 3. Now this is the most important goal that we will see. Whoever scores this next goal will take a 2-1 series lead, and the opponents will need to win 2 games in a row somehow. DPU come out to win this game after scoring 4 goals. Yes, 4 goals in this game. 1 against themselves, though. Oh my goodness. One of the shortest overtime we've seen tonight. And it's an important overtime nonetheless. No matter how long they last, these overtimes are always important.
Yeah, it's one of those classic moments where on defense, I don't think people to put it in a somewhat historical view, in the beginning of Rocket League, kickoffs was kind of seen as just, that's the way you get the game going. But over time, they've turned into something where people realize, oh, this is actually still a dangerous scoring opportunity, and you have to remain sharp. You get to overtime, you take a kickoff, and then Marist just throws someone at the ball and then rotates out. And then the other person on the follow-up also rotates out, leaves that last defender completely alone. Last defender gets beat out by an inch, and then suddenly it's a 3-on-0. And it seems like everything was fine. And then suddenly, just like that, because he didn't, take a little bit more care defensively to get back, it just turns all around on you. So a very unfortunate touch there down the stretch. But Marist and DePaul, this is a very close series. Both of them coming out with a lot of offensive opportunities, great defensive saves, and I'm just super excited to see what is in store for us here, to see now that DePaul is on match point and Marist College gonna have to bring it for another 2 games if they want to win it.
Well, they're starting it off very, very fast. Once again, 9 seconds in, they continue on here. They've scored 3 goals in about a minute and 30 seconds-ish. I can actually be more precise than that, because I know that it was 6 seconds and then 9 seconds. So a minute and 15 seconds, they've scored 3 goals. And that is an amazing stat line to have for DPU up against a team like Marist, who their defense has been strong, but it's crumbled in the last few moments.
Cypher and Z-Ball almost getting something going. I don't think Z-Ball was over there for the pass. They were there for really just for the demo to ultimately get it, but the timing has really gone away from that opportunity. Is now Z-Ball is going to have to make something do on the defensive side. Good 50 in the middle to Tones. It's a 2-on-1. He's just going to opt for the shot, and Shakuki will be able to put that one to the corner, but good contact coming in from Tones. But now on defense, there's no one back for Shakuki, getting the save and now getting the goal.
That is a great play. Lavish getting the ball out and getting this goal taken from him. Oh my goodness, Z-Ball. He was going to go for it. He was probably going to save that too, because you saw he cut the rotation towards the net, instead just went for the player. He gets the demo on Lavish, but didn't expect Shakuki to get to that ball so early. But it's going to be responded to right away. Tone blinding us all once again with his magnificently large nuke, as it only takes a few seconds. As Z-Ball double hits some players there, that is so crucial.
You got to be aware on that defensive third. They just took a touch thinking, oh, it'll be fine. I'll just take a touch and then get a quick flick. That's not enough time. That bump coming through clears the way for Tones to be able to get that goal. And now the lead has been cut in half, but DePaul still sitting on a little bit of a little safeguard. They haven't lost the lead. They still have it. So even if Marist gets another one, a little bit of an insurance policy built in, but the way that Marist is playing, I don't think that DePaul is going to be comfortable playing it by ear. I think they might have to tighten up the defense just a little bit, as the last game showed that they can give up some things off mistakes. Jocko, kind of a rough touch. It wasn't too bad until this 50 comes in, just puts it perfectly in the middle, and a great follow by Marist, and just like that, that lead's evaporated.
The lead suddenly just turned to vapor, as you say, evaporated. DPU, you had quite the lead there, quite the substantial lead, and yet, despite that, finally they're finding the back of the net, right? I was talking about this for the last 3 games, right? How you said frustrated. I think that's a much better word than tilted. They definitely were playing with a bit of frustration, a bit of anger, right? Because they just couldn't get the back of the net. Finally, they're finding opportunities like they have been all series long, but they're finally going in the back of the net as they should, as these players expect them to. And so I think this game is going to be a bloodbath in that case.
We're definitely seeing a lot of shots coming in, and it's very even across both these teams. Only really one shot separating these two. And they're going to have to make sure defensively they're staying tight. Zabal's coming back, and Tone's almost missing that one, but able to get enough of a touch. And now a long 50 coming down. Lavish is going to take this one slow. Over one, not past a second. Zabal, that's an interesting bounce. Shikuki just enough boost. And now Jocko taps it on target, but not quite in. Shikuki, another air dribble. They're taking it well. They're just going to take it past the last defender, but the deflection will take it to the sideline instead. And teams will back off here. We're approaching that 2-minute warning here for the tie game. I don't think anyone wants to throw themselves too far into attack.
No, I think both teams now have solidified on defense, right? Both teams seeing that the offense can be very, very strong and are saying, look, let's not take out our offense right now. Let's shut this down, make sure they can't bring it. What a save there by the goalpost. That was so close to going in, but the goalpost just coming in clutch.
Now, Cypher and Tones trying to keep it in the corner. They're not necessarily looking for an immediate shot. They're just trying to keep it in that defensive half, and they're doing a great job with it as the ball might go past him, but it is a giveaway into the middle. But speaking of giveaways, Jocko just got set up, and Cypher doesn't have the boost. A third goal from Nepal, seemingly when things are in their control. Jocko changes that immediately.
The machine is not fluid. He ran out of boost at the last second. And maybe the extra 12 boost would have been able to make him get the save there. But it was all down to reaction time. The reaction. A split second definitely would have been enough. But now it's a 3-2 game with a nice amount of seconds left on the clock there. 3-2 is the score. Can Marist bring it back once again here?
And they're going to have to try to just get it out of their half first. That deflection will help as Zabal and Tones. It's a 2-on-1, but that miss is going to screw up Tones. They were waiting for their teammates' touch, it looked like, on that one. Still somewhat of an opportunity, but Shikuki will shut it down for now. And Zabal will try to just slap it back in, but this is really just back and forth hits here. Nothing much in the way of possession as Jocko will send one on target off the crossbar, but Shikuki edges out Z-Ball, and that's a 2-goal lead with only 32 to go.
That might be the dagger, ladies and gentlemen. Shikuki getting it past 2 here. Cypher was up on the ceiling of the net, thinking that the ball might have gone a bit lower. It goes off the back wall. No one's there to be able to read it. And that's a great shot by Shikuki. They need a goal right away. They can't leave this until the last few seconds. They need to score while there's still double digits left on the clock. Jocko, though, he's got to pass it back. Time wasted. And that's beautiful. There's so much time being leaked and out. Oh my goodness, and Cypher, he's gonna leave it. That's more time wasted. There you go. It's all over, ladies and gentlemen. We get a DPU series winner there. Marist trying their best, but that's 2 losses in a row for them. Oh my goodness, that from the team in week 8 that had the least amount of losses, by a lot too. The only team that had less than 7 losses all season long. They had 4. Right? They start off the first series in week 9 with getting swept. Right? They go up to 7 right away. They lose again. They're now at 10 losses on the season. And just in these 2 games alone, they've lost more games than they have 1.5 times more games than they did in the first 8 weeks of play.
I think it's definitely, I mean, granted, they're not playing any necessarily bottom tier teams either. Like,
no.
These are good teams. However, it's definitely frustrating to see such a nice run of form, not losing games within your series, and then suddenly just slowly just getting a lot more in the L column for your for your individual games. And so it can definitely be tough. And I wouldn't necessarily say I'd be too worried. I think a lot of these goals that they're getting scored on are well formed, but it's just not enough at times. The game, it doesn't really matter if you lose by 1 goal or 30. At the end of the day, they're just not getting the goals in. And DePaul, I mean, heck of an offense. They were a threat all night long.
And if you're Marist here, this is going to be something where tomorrow or the day after, right, you're going to be looking at every single game here, the replays. Definitely look at those replays, see what happened. Don't let your hopes get down here, right? Because that's a slippery slope down to, I don't want to say it, but you can't let this get to your head. You get swept by Colorado, and now you lose to DePaul, right? You only get 1 win in those 2 series. You need to find your groove back, and it's not by getting tilted. It's not by getting mad about what's going on. It's about figuring out what went right in the first two months, right? And continuing on that, right? What went right during the first 2 months of the season? How can you continue that now? And if you're DePaul, you take this victory. Of course you do. You take this and you plant the flag, right? You absolutely say, hey, look, we absolutely just beat Marist. And it was a tight series, but we were able to clutch it out and wear that with pride.
Yeah, and we'll hopefully be able to get a sense of at least DePaul's perspective on that last match, as we will be throwing you guys to a brief break and come back with an interview with a player from DePaul. So stick with us and we'll kind of pick their brain to end off our night here on EGF Rocket League.
Don't go anywhere.
Welcome
Ladies
back.
and gentlemen, sorry.
Quantum, how dare you? No, it's fine. You can go on. I thought we had something here. I thought we had the connection. I'm like, oh, it's okay. He's been letting me go. He's such a gentleman. But no, you throw it out the window. I don't want to see you after this. You know what? Just ask your question. It's fine.
It's not. Hey, listen, it's 9 o'clock. Last night I fall asleep at this time, so you call me a boomer all you want. I go to sleep at this time, so I've been tired. But sorry, I just blanked out, right? We were talking about the interviews, and we were talking with our wonderful man, Jacko, who's been a beast in this series for DePaul. How are you, my guy?
I'm good. How are you guys doing? Good to see you again.
Hey, listen, Jocko, you've been cutting off a lot of players during that game, just like I cut off my man Danger over there, not over here. That's my window. He's over here. You were cutting off a lot of passes, a lot of plays. Oh my goodness, that was beautiful. Taco, you said you had a few questions for this man. I'm going to let you ask away.
Yeah, we were noticing throughout the game that you guys were getting a lot of nice pressure in, but we were wondering about the mental state of games like that, because they were fairly close, and I wanted to kind of get an insight of how you guys deal with situations like that, what you just had Maris, especially in games, I would say 2 and 3 specifically, where it seems like you're getting a lot of pressure, but it just seems like every single thing you try, it's just getting turned away at the last second, or it's getting kicked out to the side. What's really the mindset of you guys at DePaul to really keep your heads on straight and make sure you still get the job done?
Honestly, I mean, it's just a really good team environment. We're all very, I would say, level-headed. We don't take it too much to our heads, and we're always just kind of backing each other up. If one, you can kind of sense someone. Honestly, it was me this series where some situations I'd get a little aggravated or something, but right away someone steps in and they're like, "It's all right, man. Don't worry about it. We'll get on to the next one." I own gold in one of the games. I was Jesus. But you know what? We shook it off. Yeah, I scored right away. That was kind of weird. That felt, I don't know, maybe they gave me one back or something, because but yeah, it's just a really good level-headed team. Everyone is just there to back each other up. It doesn't feel like you're getting overcrowded with anything. There's no silence in the chat. We're very vocal, and we like to keep each other up, and I think that helps a lot. And even through the games where it felt like we just couldn't develop anything, it was still that was actually one of my key points for that second game. Was we had really good possession, but we couldn't make anything out of it. So we just kind of started using more solo plays and then looking for the infield passes, which they were struggling to cover a lot of our infield passes, and we just took those advantages when we got them, and that's what got us the win.
Earlier in the cast, during games 2 and 3, right? You talked about this Danger, where I said tilted. The word tilted came out, and I didn't exactly know how to say it. Frustrated was the word that came out afterwards. you guys seemed frustrated because nothing was going in, right? And no matter how hard you tried, it somehow stayed at a deadlock game, even though there were mistakes made by both teams, right? Yourself included. There were mistakes here and there that happened, and suddenly just one of those mistakes went in. You said it yourself, you scored right after, and then to win in overtime was big. So for you guys to come back here, after game one, right? You set yourselves down and you won the next three. That was probably the most important thing for you guys. What was in your heads after game one, though, because it was so tight and Maris just got the better of you?
Well, it was just kind of like we just kept our heads held high. I would also wait. Let me double check. We actually, sorry, I don't mean to like throw you off your mojo, but we won game one, we lost game two, and then we won the following two. Yeah, I was like, hold on, something didn't sound right there in my head. Yeah, so after winning game one, it felt really good. Honestly, it doesn't feel like we're a team that would typically take the game ones. We like to like kind of feel out the opponents and then work our way from there. Like as we saw like last week, we would lose a game and then we'd kind of adapt and we just smash them going into the next one. We didn't win the series, but like, so after winning game one, I already kind of just like kind of figured we had it in the bag. But after losing game two, things slowed down a little, but we didn't need to change anything. I felt like I said, we were holding good possession and we were making like the right plays. We couldn't capitalize on it, but that wasn't anything inherently wrong. We just kept it going into the next one. We just didn't let ourselves get beat up over it, and we just closed it out.
It's good to hear. Good to hear. Going forward in the season, you said you like to feel out the teams the first game. How much do you really kind of mentally prep yourself for these games? Because I know sometimes you get into leagues and you're like, well, whatever, who we're playing this week, and other times it's like, oh goodness, week 9 or something, we have this squad that we know is going to be a handful. Like, do you guys like try to get some scrims in, try to prepare for the title team? Do you try to watch them, or is it really just like we're just going to try it, we're going to try it, pure adaptation in the moment?
It's a little bit of both. Obviously school, it's collegiate esports, so school does get hectic, it gets in the way. This match, I mean, it wasn't like weeks in preparation, but we have been finding time to play together, and like we weren't just like on match day today like, oh wait, who are we playing? Yeah. We already knew ahead of time, and like Lavish, him, like we didn't go together as a team to like look the other team up and like see into their plays or anything, but Lavish and both I went individually. I pretty much always will like at least the day before look up the team that we're going to be playing just to see what we're getting into. Not that it really sways our play style one way or the other. We know how we like to play and like how we like to adapt, and we keep it going that way. We're not like trying to change anything in the middle of important games. So we don't let it sway much, but it is always just good to have that information just so it's not game one is literally us throwing it away so we could see, we're like, are these guys C1 or like SSL?
Yeah. I feel that.
All right, I got one last thing to ask you, Jocko. Do you have anything to say to your teammates? Because I'm sure they're listening in. I think I see a lot of it in chat still.
I love you, Lavish.
Do you have anything to say to them? Chat?
Yeah, no, it was really good seeing Shot Cookie like just feeling so much more confident this week. That was the biggest thing that we were looking for. It was his first stream game last week, and I'm really glad to see that he stepped up, and we're gonna keep it going like that going into the future weeks. And Lavish, I mean, he knows he's a god. He doesn't need to hear it more from me. Just good games. I love you guys, and I think that's it.
Anything else you want to say here before we go off?
Well, thank you for having me, you guys, and I'll just plug my Twitch, twitch.tv/rljocko. I'm not actually live. I'm a little sick right now, so I'm just doing what I can. I'm holding it up, but yeah, follow me there, twitch.tv/rljocko. Thank you for having me, guys.
Hey, no problems. Just stick around for a little bit. We're going to shout out our own selves. Before I shout out myself, I'm going to shout out Mr. Danger Taco right under my name. Yes, funnily enough, I'm also at the Danger Taco. You can follow me at the Danger Taco. Yes. Plug yourself, Taco. Go ahead.
I'm just the Danger Taco on all socials. Not much more to say about that, but hopefully we all had a nice stream there. Quantum, you want to lead us out with your socials, and we'll send these merry people on their way.
Hey, listen, everyone, you can find me at Quantum Death Cat on mostly any social except for Twitter, sadly, which is why I don't have the @ next to my thing. And you can follow me. I cast many leagues. I cast for a league called RLPC as well, a nice amateur league. If you guys are Diamond 3 and above and want to join, they're currently in the off season, and the draft is soon about to become placed. So if you guys want to join a team and want to feel out what non-collegiate players feel like playing up against men, you can come in and play in the league all you want. I'll be casting you guys. I might flame you a bit. That's about it. All right, thank you everyone so much for coming along to the EGF Rocket League. My name is Quantum Death Cat. I was here with Danger Taco. Special thank you to Will English for streaming us the entire time. As Tugboat would say, making our life as casters that much easier. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you all next time.
Peace. Oh.